Hello and welcome to episode 41 of Your Average Critics, joined today with Joe. Welcome back, Joe.
Hello.
Chris and Obi. So, Joe, where the hell have you been?
I've been ghosting.
Ghosting, yeah.
Really, I just haven't been turning up.
The only reason that you came on this week was because I had a dream during the week that Joe actually turned up to a podcast, and I thought, well, it's one of those, hype dreams.
Foreshadowing, isn't it?
I thought I'd grace you with my presence today.
Fair enough. Well, happy 2018, man. So, Chris, you've got some film news for us.
Well, I've got a variety of newses. So,
Newses.
well, news.
Awful English.
Look, mate.
From an English student as well.
Go with newses.
Newses.
Sounds better, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll use that anyway. I'm putting it in the dictionary.
We're going to be talking about filmses today.
Filmsies, yeah.
Yeah.
Filmsies. Basically,
TVs.
will it make you watch... Do any of you watch Super Bowl?
The
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl?
I have watched them.
No.
Will it make you watch it more if you know there's a 30-second and a 45-second trailer from Marvel?
No.
No.
But there is.
Because
that
it's
was
on
the
at
first.
4 in the morning.
Yeah.
You can see it the next day.
Someone...
Exactly.
Okay, well, moving swiftly on then.
The
Next...
entire programme, 6 hours long.
Mhm.
Well,
For an hour long
It's a
game.
48-minute game.
Yeah.
Right, so we know we're talking about who's our favourite villain, etc., etc.
Yes.
Loki was ranked the third on Empire magazine's list of the greatest movie villains of all time.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that?
Who's first?
Vader, I reckon.
I will look that up.
Yeah,
after.
I would have said Darth Vader.
Yeah, I'll look that up after. It literally just said Loki was.
I think that's
Oh, okay. So who do we think's the first,
Darth Vader.
and who do we think's the second? I'm gonna be honest. It's a pretty obvious one.
Maybe
Joker.
Heath Ledger's Joker.
Correct. It goes Darth Vader,
Yeah.
the Joker, Loki, Hans Gruber in Die Hard, Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs, Kylo Ren's 7th,
Okay, I'll go.
Really?
Voldemort's 9th, the Alien is 10th from the Alien, Gollum's 11th, Sauron's 12th.
Voldemort should be higher.
Well,
So
I would've thought Voldemort.
Is it Heath Ledger's Joker or just the Joker?
it just says the Joker,
Okay.
Batman franchise.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's-
because
that's
Jack
not-
Nicholson
that's,
was.
No. Oh.
'Cause Jack Nicholson was the Joker.
Is
isn't
it the Batman franchise, the Heath Ledger one, or is he the Dark Knight franchise?
I would say that was more Dark Knight,
Mm.
but I guess it's just Batman as a whole.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't say that
I
Jared Leto's Joker was
Yeah,
second.
I'd assume they're generalising
Yeah.
Joker.
Well, Agent Smith from the Matrix trilogy was 17th.
17th. Okay, now.
Which Norman Bates from Psycho, he was 16th.
I feel like Loki is one of the better villains. It's certainly the best villain within the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
In terms of overall villains, I don't know, because he kind of has these kind of mini redemption arcs, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then he kind of he's
the same thing over again.
yeah, but then he's got less villainous and more just mischievous, and
Yeah.
he'll just betray Thor, but in not the consequences aren't as fatal as they were in the first Avengers
But
film.
I think Thanos will overtake him as the most evil person in the Marvel universe.
I would be surprised if Thanos was a massive letdown. personally.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think you'll barely see? He'll barely have anything to do apart from just punch people, and then he'll be taken down very easily.
I just think, basically, I just think because we've waited so long for him to actually, be around, it's just gonna not live up to expectation.
Yeah.
So I just think it'll be a bit disappointing. I don't know. That's just a guess. I hope it's not, obviously, but
Because what they did to make Loki so likable was that, and also Wilson Fisk, they're charismatic. They've got character. You actually, you actually like them to an extent, and
You got the history as well, don't you? Like why they became who they are.
yeah.
Although Loki's is a bit more twisted than,
Bless you.
especially than, well, Kingpin's is more twisted in the sense that, oh my god, he saw some murder and he became almost villainous, didn't he? While Loki is twisted in the sense that he's gone with his birth father rather than his
adopted father.
adopted father. So
Yeah, I think they can't build that level of characterization within Thanos, and
well, it all depends really how they do it. Like,
Well, didn't they say that this first film this year, Infinity War, is mainly going to be Thanos? It's
I don't know.
basically going to be his film, and then the next film is when everything's going to
Fighting.
kick off.
So
they might go into a backstory of Thanos.
it was talking of Thanos. It was confirmed that ship at the end of 4 was Thanos' ship.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
So the other, well, this I'll give you. There's little snippets of different bits of information, and then you can just like go off on it. So the list of Disney films to come out, I think this is in order: Black Panther, Han Solo. No, not in order. It's not in order. Black Panther. I think it's this year.
Can I just jump in right there?
Yeah.
Han Solo is coming out when?
This year.
Yeah, but when?
So
I think it's
a couple
December.
weeks after Temple.
So end of Feb. Well,
No,
no,
it'd be like May time.
May.
Oh yeah, this is in order then.
Because
Black
Infinity War's
Panther.
coming out in April, isn't it?
No, May.
Oh, okay.
It comes out May the
Oh
18th.
no, it is May. Yeah.
Because it goes
Is it-
May the 4th,
It is.
and then Deadpool's May the 18th.
Yeah. And then Han Solo's a couple weeks after that.
Because wouldn't Infinity War count as Disney?
Yeah, that's in
Yeah.
here. It goes Black Panther, Solo, Infinity War, The Nutcracker and the Four Realms, Disney A Wrinkle in Time, which is a sequel to the Cinderella film. No, the one where the girl comes into real life.
Huh?
What, Enchanted?
I think so.
Is it?
One of these.
I've seen the trailer for that. It doesn't look very
Maybe
Enchanted.
it's not then. The Ant-Man
A
and the
Wrinkle in
Wasp.
Time. Is that the one with the black girl?
Yeah, she's called like Storm something.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not then. Maybe Mary Poppins Returns.
Okay.
The Incredibles 2, Disney's Christopher Robin, and Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Well,
That
what I
was
was
a
going to
list
say
of a few
about
of them.
Isn't sorry. Isn't it funny how like obviously, so like with that Christopher Robin film, like a film just came out about Christopher Robin, so you've got like those
Yeah.
two, and then you've got like those two Churchill films that just come out,
they always
and then
do
you've
this,
got
man.
two Jungle Book films that just.
It's almost
just
like
come out.
Disney have.
Well,
It's
come
either
on.
Disney have a line of films they want, and then someone else kind of picks up and is like, "I'm gonna do it," or someone else is doing it already, and Disney are like, "Well, we can do it better. Let's put
Yeah.
this out there." But
But what was I going to say about the Han Solo
Mhm.
story or whatever it's called? I've not seen a trailer, a
No.
poster,
Yeah.
anything for
No,
it.
nothing.
And it's supposedly coming out in a couple of months.
I know Donald Glover's announced it.
do you know what then? Maybe that's the trailer in Super Bowl. It said,
When is the Super
oh no,
Bowl?
it said Marvel, didn't it? Super Bowl. It must be in a few.
It's February. The shit. I
February.
can't remember.
It's
February.
February.
It's
time.
So
February.
there's not going to be Black Panther then, is it? So it's almost
No.
certainly going to be
It will be Infinity War.
But yeah, so I'm surprised that there's no marketing, especially because it's a Star Wars film.
Well, maybe they think on its own it will just make enough money, and maybe they haven't pumped a lot into it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean the nostalgia from people that are like 40 odd now
Yeah.
for
I mean,
a
the-
Han Solo.
I don't really know if I care for a Han Solo origin film.
Nah, well, they're just going to do everything to get money,
Did
aren't
you
they?
care about Rogue One before it came out?
No. But it was a story that, yeah, I guess.
It
Yeah,
bridged
that's
the
fair
gap,
enough.
though, I suppose. So does Han Solo, but yeah. Zac Efron is going to play the infamous serial killer Ted Bundy, titled Extremely Wicked,
Okay.
What, in a serious film?
in a serious film.
Interesting.
It's playing against type there, so
Yeah.
that'll be an interesting
for him.
thing to see.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the photo there. Not that anyone can see it, but
Fair play.
Do you know who Rob Lowe looks like?
That's-
He looks like Rob Lowe.
yes, he does actually.
I know who the guy on the left is. Who's the
That's
person?
well, who did I just say?
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
Bundy.
He's a
Who's
serial killer.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
That sounds like it would be like a Tarantino sort of film, but he's already doing the Manson murders,
Yeah, well, this
so-
is it, isn't it? Sad news. Dragon Ball Super is ending with episode 131. It will be no more Dragon Ball Super.
Why?
That's
Ratings
it.
low?
No, that's it. Done. Finished.
Until he decides to bring up another series.
Well, he said the final episode of the Tournament of Power of Arc, Super's current time slot will be taken over by a new anime called Kitaro. At the end of 2018, there will be a new Dragon Ball movie based on the origins of the Saiyans. From now on, there's no information of a Dragon Ball Super series, but there has been talks from several different people who work there that there is another series in the works. It just won't be called Dragon Ball Super,
it'll
like
be Dragon Ball something.
Dragon Ball something. And someone did leak information on what each episode's about. Because I'm on episode 125 right now, so there's only 6 left. Someone leaked all the information. So far, his information has been incorrect. That's all I've got to say.
It's been incorrect.
It has been incorrect. Because I read the synopsis of each episode, and this episode, I did not feel that the synopsis he wrote for this episode related in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
But then the next episode might kind of
Mm.
make me. I don't know. When I watch the next episode, I'll let you know if it does. We discussed in our own little chat about the Marvel series and how they were rated, didn't we?
Do you mean like where Jessica Jones ranks in
Yeah.
comparison to Luke Cage?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And what else we got here?
Although there was a Marvel-related news, we saw Captain Marvel's suit for the first time,
Yeah.
which made her look like Rita Repulsa.
So-
I liked it.
So I personally think either they're gonna green screen it. I don't know why they would, and that's why it's green.
Because it's normally red and blue, isn't it?
Yeah, but I was thinking maybe it's just a space suit. Maybe that is her original suit, and then when she gets recruited by the people of America, she then starts wearing red, white, and blue.
That one.
Maybe. Yes. Yeah, she looks. It's like the Rita Repulsa suit from Power Rangers.
Mm.
That level of green.
Yeah, it is.
Although someone on Instagram, I think Boss Logic,
That was,
coloured it in.
yeah,
And it
yeah.
looked
So
really good. 'Cause that's.
So you don't like it in the green?
Well, I don't know. I've always thought of Captain Marvel as the red and blue, but I guess all of the films start off with like a prototype suit, don't they?
Mm.
And then they gradually get.
develop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of the? Did I? Was it just you I told about the quote, or was it everyone? From Captain America, the first Avenger film, where Red Skull goes, "You wear a flag on your chest, and I think you fight for your nation. I've seen the future captain. There are no flags, and on his new suit, there is no red, white, and blue.
Mm.
Blue or
It's
black,
black,
yeah.
yeah.
There is Ryan Reynolds to star in Clue remake.
I haven't seen the original. What is Clue?
What is Clue?
Isn't it like
As in the
basic-
blue.
Cluedo?
As
in
the board
Cluedo,
game.
the board game. There was a film.
Do you think it's going to
be?
be a tongue-in-cheek film then? Because
Probably.
it's Ryan Reynolds? Because they could make it quite like Murder on the Orient Express, because if it's like a whodunit, but then with Ryan Reynolds it might be a bit
A
tongue-in-cheek.
bit more slapstick.
Yeah.
He has played serious films though, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
So
I remember Buried, that was a
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
very
true.
serious role, although he's just in a box for 90 minutes.
Yeah, true. But that's like James Franco in 127 Hours. He's just stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Hey.
Like for 127 hours, or in our
Yeah.
case, 127 minutes probably.
Yeah.
Right, so this one might be of more interest to you and anyone who watched is Cloverfield, the films. God Particle. So rumour alert, nothing solid here, but hearing some interesting things. Firstly, the third Cloverfield film, which has had the working title God Particle, is now being called Cloverfield Station. Secondly, this might be a Netflix film. If both, and that's the rumour.
I saw that Netflix want to take the third Cloverfield
Yeah.
film.
I think, I don't know, Netflix are definitely branching out. They're getting some very
Yeah.
good films. They're producing some very good,
Who
exciting films.
who put the first two Cloverfield films out?
Oh, I don't know.
Different
It-
people.
probably like Universal or something. But
Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry, yeah.
but I know that Duncan Jones' new film is going to be on Netflix, and they're also doing Scorsese's film,
Yeah.
The Irishman, with De Niro and Al Pacino.
Yeah, there was
and
a
that, so-
there was a poster that I saw in here and I liked it, but it wasn't the actual poster for it. Someone had just made a mock up.
But Netflix came out saying that they're going to spend £8 billion or dollars on original content in 2018.
Jesus.
Which
Speaking of original content, I've been seeing like adverts for this Altered Carbon thing.
I like that.
Are
Yeah.
any of you going to watch it?
yeah, it
I'm
looks
probably
interesting.
going to give it a go.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff that I've been recommended to watch that is Netflix related has been above average standard, if not above a good standard. Like, I think Sense8 was Netflix, and it's a lot different to what I'd normally watch, and I quite enjoyed it. Although it did get a bit slower during season 2, and that's why it's pretty inevitably cancelled. It's good, and the thing what I like about these streaming services doing their original content is that when a film or a TV series comes to an end and there's a cliffhanger, they inevitably have the power to then make a special episode or something. In which case, Netflix have done that for Sense8. Like, I don't know how it ends. I assume it ends on a cliffhanger, and they're gonna make a special episode to complete it,
Yeah.
which I think is quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives everyone closure, doesn't it?
Well, this is it.
And they give new leases of life to like old TV shows,
Mhm.
like, you know, Arrested Development and
Full House.
Full House, Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
So, you know, they kind of bring that back. But I think I read somewhere they got like 117 million global subscribers, but I was thinking, you know, they pay on average like $10 a month.
Yeah.
How quickly would they need to make
What's that?
8 billion?
17 billion. A month.
17 billion a month.
You said 100 minutes.
That'd be 1.17
7 billion.
billion.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a month. So it'd take a year.
Yeah, I guess.
But then,
I don't know. You're assuming that all the subscribers stay for the entire year. I'm sure they've got it down to a T, but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how
finances
much
done.
profit they actually make, because a lot of these like tech companies take
Depends
years to be in.
Yeah, but it depends as well. They might not be the only people funding it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is Netflix a public company? Sorry, keep going.
Rotten Tomato put that they put something from the Sundance Festival. The film that could be Nicolas Cage's craziest film ever,
Oh, is that
Mandy.
Mandy.
That's a picture.
I saw a trailer for a film that he's in where like parents end up killing their children.
I think that's it.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
It looked pretty nuts.
Yeah, so I really want to see it. Like, if Ollie was here, he would really appreciate that, because obviously he loves Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this one's probably more of interest to all of you. So, the next Deadpool trailer is confirmed to be attached to Black Panther.
Okay. We've got like 2 weeks till Black Panther
Yeah.
comes
And
out.
I heard that Cable will also be in this trailer.
Nice.
Okay.
Also, conflict. Same guy acting as Thanos is acting as Cable. So,
Yeah. But then they're unlikely to cross over.
True.
Because
I
also
might-
Chris Evans played
Johnny Storm.
yes,
Yeah.
Flame On guy.
Flame on.
okay, and this one I feel could be not controversial, but not necessary almost. Welcome Back to the Jungle, Jumanji 2 has been announced for December 2019
Yeah, I
to
don't.
battle it out with Star Wars Episode 9.
They're gonna lose.
Oh,
Well,
they
to
don't?
be fair, this
Yeah.
one was
Oh.
really, really popular.
Yeah.
They were top of the box, if not for nearly a month.
It's made almost $1 billion.
Oh, has
It's,
it
it's
actually?
really
Yeah.
popular.
And it is
Oh,
really,
wow.
I think it is really good. But again,
Is it one-off?
unnecessary to have a sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have the exact same characters. There's no stopping you. You could have a sequel game in which they're all in, and it's Jumanji 2 if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
But
I don't
why
know.
you need that?
I think it was a surprise one-off,
Yeah.
and then if they do a second, it's no longer going to be a surprise, is it? So
I think
Yeah.
again it's the thing with the nostalgia, because obviously it's been so long since the original Jumanji. They brought out this one. Everyone thought, yeah, okay, I'll go see it.
yeah,
They go and see a second one.
yeah. And I don't know if they do continue the same characters, like The Rock playing this kind of nerdy high school guy, whether that'll wear thin quite quickly. I don't know.
Mm.
I know. Obviously they just want to cash in, but I don't know how necessary that is.
No, yeah, that's it.
Milk the cow for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Another rumour. Superman is rumoured to appear in Shazam.
Is Shazam happening?
Yeah. Yeah, it's got the guy who played Chuck in Chuck TV series as Shazam
Okay, when's that due out?
this year.
Shazam?
Next year.
I think it's this year.
Oh. Isn't Shazam
What
also called
DC
Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What DC films are coming out this year?
Aquaman.
Only one?
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
That's the only one that I've heard of that's coming out.
Fair play. If any of you have watched Bill and Ted,
Yeah.
Rings a bell.
the third film has been announced.
Leave our childhood alone.
Bill and Ted Face the Music.
What
Almost
is
10 years
What is
on-
Bill and Ted?
It's Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter, and it's these two goofballs.
Yeah. There's what the funny scene is, like they both get tattoos and like they can't see what it says, but one of them's is dude and the other one's is no way, and they're like, what does mine say? It's like dude. It's like, what does yours say? No way. And they just don't know what each other's saying.
It's so dumb. It's so funny. Like, could you imagine Keanu Reeves coming back to play that role? That'd be so funny.
Yeah, they should release a double bill with John Wick 3.
That'd be so jokes. Bro,
Speaking of, Keanu Reeves is going into the TV show.
Yeah, it's called The Continental or something.
Yeah.
Is that right?
oh, he's going to be in it.
He's going to make a cameo appearance. He's not going to
Okay, so almost
feature
like
in it.
Bradley Cooper in Limitless. Then. Okay, that makes sense.
I wonder if it will tie in with the third film.
I think that's what they're trying to make it do.
Does that
But
not?
whether it
Does that not
or-
almost spoil it for you though? It's like, okay, so for example, the only example I've got that I can think of off the top of my head, that we know that the Winter Soldier is going to be in what, 9 films.
Mm-hmm.
Does that not just spoil it for you?
Yeah.
It ruins the element of surprise. The only people that we have up in the air are our main three.
What does it ruin?
You know that Bucky Barnes is going to still be.
No,
in this
I
franchise.
thought we were talking about John Wick.
Oh, John Wick. Well, it ruins it that you know John Wick's probably going to stay alive.
But we don't know when the third film's coming out.
He might die in the third film.
Yeah, you don't know.
No, but isn't this after the third film?
I
We
thought
don't know.
it was before.
It could be
during, and
running
after.
concurrently, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. I was gonna say, okay.
But with the 9 films things, that could be a red herring. Like they might just
It could
kill
be
him
a,
off. And,
It could be a red herring, but also it does sort of ruin the fact that we know.
Like
he's
inevitably in my head right now, I'm
not
like
gonna die.
either Tony Stark or Captain America's gonna die, and I'm pretty certain on which one I know is gonna.
I think they might both die.
Yeah.
I reckon they'll both die.
if they don't both die, at least they'll both no longer be in it. Like they'll retire or something.
Yeah. They're both done.
Because I think they'll need Stark's money, won't they? Essentially.
Black Panther.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Black Brain.
He's the
He's
richest.
he's wealthier than Tony
Yeah.
Stark.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd have liked to see them for another phase. I personally would
But
like to.
it depends
'Cause
where they're going to take it.
Well, true, but like, it's almost as if we've made this like base for Marvel, and we're at a good level with Marvel,
Yeah.
and they've started to introduce these secondary characters that you almost think are going to be tertiary. No,
Tertiary's like a level on from secondary.
Yeah.
So like even
Well,
less
it's-
important.
no. So we want So you feel like they're going to be the front runner of the primary. So
Yeah.
I don't know what was happening there. Fucking
Good
geography.
use of tertiary though.
Yeah, no, thank you, mate.
Yeah.
But it's almost like they're not quite there yet. And if these characters die off, I kind of almost feel like it's not the right time. I feel like they need to, like, what's the word?
Establish themselves.
Be mentors to them almost,
Right, okay.
and then push
Yeah.
them to be the front runners.
Well,
that's me personally.
In terms of Captain America, Bucky Barnes is pretty suitable to step into that if he becomes Captain America.
Which you will.
Probably. With Tony Stark, you're right, there is no backup to him.
But then you kind
Well-
of see in Spider-Man Homecoming like that.
Spider-Man, also that kid who was in Iron Man 3 is also
Yeah.
in Infinity War.
Oh, is he?
Don't know in what role. He might have just looked up into the sky.
Yeah.
For all we know,
Okay.
but
And then
He's in
War
it.
Machine's quite a close ally of.
but he also
Iron Man.
at this point in time cannot walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And will probably die.
Potentially.
Nah.
But then you've still
See,
got
I don't
Thor.
think he will die because I think maybe
Thor will still be there. I think.
Yeah, Thor.
he hasn't signed a contract,
I
but yeah,
know, but
I think he will.
Thor won't die. I don't think.
And also, like Marvel have basically started the foundation with like the earthly
Yeah.
Avengers, and now they're going into like cosmic and
Yeah.
quantum realm.
Which is why it was so important for them to get X-Men and Fantastic
Well,
Four.
yeah.
So the schedule for this year is February 14th, Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, May the 4th,
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool, May the 18th, Ant and Wasp, July 6th, Venom.
Wait, is that coming out this year?
Yeah,
Fuck, I didn't realize.
Venom, October the 5th, and X-Men Dark Phoenix, November the 2nd.
So when's Homecoming 2 coming out?
Next
week.
year.
Oh, that's after. Okay.
And then obviously they pushed New Mutants back. So
Yeah, so New Mutants thing, there was a quote here. This movie is probably the hardest PG-13 ever made. I mean, we've pushed it. The horror is pretty dark, but there's also an emotional core too. If I can scare you and make you cry, that's the goal. Josh Boone.
Boom. But why making it PG-13 for? That doesn't necessarily mean it will be a 12 here, but it's kind of like, oh, it's going to be we're going to have almost too many uses of the word shit in our film. Like, oh, sorry, hard. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck off, just make it a 15.
Just make it an 18
Huh?
and make
Oh.
it proper dirty.
Proper dirty.
Proper dirty.
Oh yeah, didn't we have Aladdin news as well? Because the poster came out for Aladdin the other day,
Did it?
and it had. So there was a rumour that Jafar's bird. Is it Jafar?
Yeah.
Jafar's bird wasn't going to be in it, but in the poster there's a quite clear evidence of a bird on his shoulder with his right hand man, who I don't believe he had a right hand man. He had that guy. Didn't he turn into that guy in the cartoon? The guy who brought Aladdin to the
That's the
cave.
white guy.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not talking about because I haven't seen Aladdin. So
Oh.
I don't know, but I remember
haven't you?
No,
Oh.
I remember them saying
Classic.
they've created a character that wasn't in the original
Yeah.
film.
Oh, maybe
the guy
who happens to be
He
white.
turns into him, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
he turns
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Then they also are browning up people, aren't they?
Yeah.
What?
To blend. Yeah. So
Yeah,
they've
No,
got,
yeah, genuinely.
rather than casting kind of South Asian or Indian kind of actors,
They've cast
they've cast
people
white people and put
I'm
brown
just
paint on their face, which
Gonna make him have a hell of a
is
tan.
horrendously
What I just don't understand is like.
ignorant.
So, no, it's just mad. You can obviously get the actors. You're just being
And the thing is, they're saying it's like they're like background people. It's like, what are you expecting? Like Oscar winners, you know, like there will be actors of that kind of demographic that you want.
Yeah.
Just look at Bollywood, for Christ's sake.
But I understand what you're saying, but it's the marketing side of it, isn't it? And if they get a big name, which most
Well, what
actors-
big names are they going to get to play extras?
Yeah.
I suppose.
I mean, they didn't really get even. I'm not being funny. Didn't really get a big name to play the main character. Like the girl
No,
playing.
it's
The
not.
girl
Yeah, I
playing.
don't know.
No, it's
Who's
Naomi
playing-
Scott.
So Naomi Scott, the Pink Ranger in Power Rangers movie.
Oh, right,
She
okay.
is going to be Jasmine.
Right.
And who's playing them?
Who's playing Aladdin?
Who's playing
Some
Aladdin?
guy I've never heard of.
And then the genie is Will Smith.
Will Smith, yeah.
That's all I know. That's all I know off the top of my head. But all I know from the poster, you got the lion cave, which is obviously one of the opening scenes in it.
Yep.
Well, not opening. Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay. Right. So, well, okay.
You haven't seen Aladdin either?
It's like one of my childhood cartoon films,
Jesus
man.
Christ.
Yeah, it was only this time last year that I watched Lion King, man. Give me some time.
Disgraceful.
And we did also talk about Casey Affleck stepping down from doing,
The Oscars
but not
presenting
presenting what though, the woman's
Academy Award for Best Actress. isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. Because as they do, the males give the female awards and the females give the male awards.
Why did he drop out?
Well, I don't know,
Or is it
but
not
Because he
confirmed?
sexually assaulted someone last year.
Well, he got
Oh.
he settled it outside of court, but it would suggest that.
yeah, it's quite controversial, especially with this whole Me Too thing going along and, you know, still being very prevalent. Having someone who was previously accused of that, giving an award to a female is probably not the best idea.
Yeah.
But that segues quite nicely onto the list of the 2018 Oscar nominations, which we'll run through the main ones, and then we can discuss who we, you know, what we think might win or any omissions. So for Best Picture, we've got Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside of
Oh wow,
Ebbing, Missouri.
I didn't realise there was this many like people to be like as an option. I
Well, it's
thought-
only recently, because it used to be just 5.
yeah.
But then I think they expanded it to try and get a more diverse range of films in there. Like, you know, so I guess last year you had your Moonlights and your kind of La La
Yeah.
Lands, like different films that maybe wouldn't necessarily be nominated normally.
I've literally
Um,
only seen one of them films.
So
Which one have you seen?
Get Out.
Fair enough.
what was the Oscar?
No one's won it yet.
No,
Best picture.
Best Picture.
Oh, Best Picture, yeah.
I know no one's won it. There's several Oscars, mate. Okay, Best Picture.
Any surprises?
I was supposed to get out for this, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not going to win, but I'm surprised it's there.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised. It was a good
I didn't
film. It
see
wasn't
it,
a
I was
great
surprised.
film. Like I think people overrated it personally.
I'm surprised it's there because the main character's black, to be honest.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then again, this is like quite a good step for kind of not only like the horror genre, but also for like African American directors and films about kind of racial politics. Because this isn't like a pro stance, is it? It's like very kind of scathing about the state of American racial politics.
Yeah, it's well, I'm not sure I say it's an eye opener, but it's certainly shed some light on some serious.
Yeah, I was
Thanks.
surprised considering can't remember if it was nominated for a Golden Globe or not.
Yeah, what Get Out? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it won any.
So what do we think then of the ones that we've seen? So I know you.
I've seen quite a few of
seen
those.
Get Out, Dunkirk. I've seen Shape of Water and 3 Billboards, and then you've also seen The Post
And Darkest Hour.
So of the ones that you've seen,
I wouldn't say The Post would get up there.
If I'm being honest, I don't think any of those are any of these films that I've seen are particularly great.
yeah,
Like I've seen, I think 5 of those or 4,
1, 2,
5
3, 4, 5. Yeah,
5 of them, and you know they were good,
Yeah.
but they're not like
outstanding.
Oscar winner worthy, in my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah,
I mean,
what
if
did-
I had to pick out, sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
If I had to pick out of those ones, I mean, maybe it's because it's the freshest in my mind, but I'd probably pick The Post just because I quite liked it, or 3 Billboards. But even that being good, it's not worthy of winning Best Picture, in my opinion.
What is Best Picture?
Best film.
yeah.
Yeah, the best film.
Well, that's controversial. That is seriously. Wow. Okay.
Why is
Well,
it controversial?
I just again, I don't think any of those deserve
Oh,
the title. Well, I
Are
say
there,
that.
Are there any films
say that.
that have come out within the last 12 months then that you feel
Well,
would have been more
it depends
deserving?
what you think's Oscar worthy, because like if you're going to say what's been the best film of this year, then is that money it's brought in, or is that the ratings it's got on certain websites? What
It's
is
more
it?
critically.
Because if you're going to do it like that, then Jumanji should be in there, and then so should Star Wars, and then should
this is more like
Marvel.
critically.
So you're telling me
acclaimed.
it's more serious films? Is that what you're saying to me? Because that's what it looks like to me here.
I think like Oscar-winning films don't actually tend to make that much money like in their original run.
But this is what I don't understand. Then so it's just okay. Yeah. Well then for me personally, it's probably 3 Billboards. I like the post. Yeah, but no one personally to me put such an performance in that I thought, oh wow, okay, yeah, that's gonna win loads of awards for it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
3 Billboards, well, it's already won quite a lot of Golden Globes, so.
But they're normally indicators to an extent of what.
True, and then what was the other ones I've watched? I've watched Get Out. Was it Shape of Water?
Shape of Water. It got 13 nominations for Oscars.
Okay, yeah. So I like that film. And I thought it's a very thought-provoking film, and it's a very metaphorical film, I guess.
I don't think. Sorry to
Yeah.
to interrupt. I don't think Shape of Water is very thought provoking at all. To be honest with you, that's just me personally. But
I meant more in the sense that not necessarily like because she's having relations with a fish.
Can I point out, by the way, please? I like Shape of Water, don't get me wrong, it's a great film. But the lack of reaction to this woman banging a fucking sea monster, whatever it is, is really...
Well, let's discuss it then.
Did she actually...
Yeah.
And the woman...
her mate was like, oh yeah, go on girl, get you some. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? She's banging the sea monster.
She also did ask, where's he hiding it? And she put her hand like down flat, and she made it look like almost that it would go like that, and then go like that kind of thing.
So the flap would come out and the knob would come out.
Oh,
basically.
Yeah. Well, let's review it then, because we saw it as only in screen unseen, which I knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
I've already seen it, but I saw it for a second time. So, okay, you seems like you two have got different reactions to it.
I liked it.
I thought it was a good film.
I actually quite liked it, but I just didn't think it was thought provoking. That's the only thing.
The only reason I think it's thought provoking because it's like not in the sense that not in the sense of a woman having relations with a fish man, or a god as they determined him to be, but more the fact that it could be like symbolism of people rejecting people from society because they're not necessarily the same as others.
Yeah. So
And
the
then
main
also-
character
She can't talk, and she's got cuts on her neck, and you originally assume that she's been assaulted when she's younger and just left by her parents or anything, and then obviously you got this foreign creature which could symbolise many of different things in society, and because she can relate to it almost not because it's captured. She's not so much captured, but she's been kind of. It's different because she hasn't been pushed aside, but she has. Like she only talks to 2 people in her life by the looks of it, and she obviously feels excluded. And then so this fish is excluded, and they kind of make a bond, and she feels like she has to help it because this creature doesn't see her the way everyone else does. So he can't talk, she can't talk. So they're the same. Like he's not. He's not judging her, and therefore she's like, wow,
right.
He's not judging me.
Let me get some of that fish dick.
Yeah.
That's not the original point of it. The original point of it is to save him, and and then you find out he's got these magical powers, which can heal things, but he gets a bit tired after he heals things.
Yeah.
Do you see the baby?
No.
That would have been interesting.
She does like to masturbate though, doesn't she?
And this is
yeah, she does. Yeah.
That's what within the first like 2 minutes of the film, like she just gets in the bath and
rubbing one out.
Yeah, she got a timer and all sorts.
While her eggs are boiling.
Yeah. Basically, the end of the film is, I think, quite thought-provoking as well.
Yeah.
As Glenn pointed out more, I didn't notice it. I think, well, this is what makes me think it's not thought-provoking because I didn't notice it. But Glenn pointed out that they get in the water because she's been shot and the fish is trying to save her.
Right.
So he puts his hands on her neck.
Right.
And then he gives her gills.
So the scars turn into gills.
Which then Glenn says implies that she was probably...
Yeah, I thought she was... The reason she didn't speak was because she wasn't... Her gills weren't open, she wasn't in water. I feel like they're more connected than is initially...
So did they speak when they was in the water?
No,
but they didn't need to.
Who was the voiceover from the... Who was doing the voiceover?
Richard Jenkins.
The old geezer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also like because they say that she was found in the water, abandoned.
Okay.
I hope that's it because I liked the way you put that together.
Yeah.
I did actually. I liked it as well.
Then-
I just didn't think that was it.
And my
Makes
original
sense.
reaction, which was like, how she stayed in the water for so long without dying?
Yeah.
It does make sense.
The thing is, like, this
Yeah, it
film
does.
is very sweet. Like the romance is actually really kind of cute and like nice and emotional and empathetic. But it's just the fact that it's like a merman. I couldn't get over that.
It's not even a
I was just
merman, man.
fucking
It's like
merman.
a full-scale man.
I've seen pictures.
But then, like, Guillermo del Toro deals in kind
And
of
he eats
fantasy
cat.
quite a lot.
Let me remind you, he like rips a cat's head off or eats a cat's head off as well.
Like Pan's Labyrinth, that's like a adult fairy tale, and
Yeah.
like there's elements of fantasy with like Devil's Backbone and his other films. So he does deal within that area, and I feel like this film is very well put together. Like the acting is really good, the sets design is beautiful, like the cinematography, choreography, everything is the music. It all works together really well.
Zod was good too.
Yeah, Michael Shannon plays it really well.
He is actually a really good actor,
The
but
bit where he broke off his fingers, that was disgusting.
basically he got his fingers like chopped off or bitten off by the creature,
Right.
and they sew it on at the hospital, and it's obviously it's not because sometimes you can put them back on and I think it works, and sometimes it doesn't, and his fingers were obviously getting rejected, and there was pus coming out of them, they were turning black, and then
smelling.
and they were stunk, so eventually just like
You just
the thing is he didn't like. It looked like he just squeezed them off. Like it wasn't like he just went, "Oh, let's do the bandages and pull them." He just like crushed them in it, and it was just like, ugh.
Yeah, and I thought the romance plot was nice. The subplot about the Russians and the Americans wanting to claim this creature was compelling.
What did you think about Neighbour's story?
I thought it was quite good. I think it could have been explored a lot more because he's like a lonely old man who's evidently had some sort of alcohol abuse, is it?
Yeah.
And then he gets rejected from his advertising job. They kind of string him along, and he's gay, and like he
That's
gets
the
kicked
point.
out of his favourite
Yeah.
diner because he comes on to someone.
I thought that the bit with when he had all that green pie was really funny. Firstly.
Yeah.
And secondly, I think maybe you show with the main actress. What was her name?
Sally Hawkins. Oh, in the thing.
In the film, yeah. What was her name? I can't remember. But
It's something
It's really hard
Esposito,
to,
isn't it?
It's really hard to remember because
Despacito.
there was
Justin
sign
Bieber.
language in for most of it,
Yeah.
weren't they?
Oh
well,
God.
whatever her name was. So obviously because she can't speak, she's kind of like in the wrong in the wrong setting sort of thing, because like obviously she's the only one around who can't speak, and you kind of like juxtapose that with the guy who I suppose you kind of say is like born in the wrong time.
Yeah.
Obviously he's gay, and I'm sure it's like around the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
Or so like when the guy went into the into the diner, and he comes on to the waiter guy, and the guy basically like like completely rejects him. Like I feel like in modern day, someone would probably be a bit nicer about it. So
Yeah.
then it kind of obviously went from him rejecting him for being gay, saying, "Oh, you need to leave. This is a family place," blah blah. And they also showed him being racist to that black family.
Yeah.
Kind of shows this guy was kind of like in the wrong time. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
both outsiders within American society. Yeah. The thing, it also felt, you could tell it was definitely set around the 40s, 50s, 60s, but there was no like specific mention of it. It was
No
just kind of
definitive, was
timeless
there?
in a
Yeah.
sense.
Almost
So-
makes you believe it's almost fantasy.
Well, exactly, yeah.
So
So I think that's probably got a
It-
strong shout of being Best Picture.
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know how many categories there are, but 13 nominations worthy.
Yeah. Well, we'll go through
We'll go
most of
through.
them, I'm sure.
So, but for me, so I thought The Darkest Hour was really good.
Yeah.
Whether it's Best Picture, I'm not so sure. Best Actor, maybe.
Yeah.
Three Billboards in the West, in Missouri, was it?
Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah. Great actress, great actor again. He's not a main actor, he was a supporting actor.
Wait, are
And
you talking about Woody Harrelson or Sam Rockwell?
Sam Rockwell. Woody who?
Harrelson.
Nah,
He
nah,
played
nah,
Chief
nah.
Willoughby.
He was good, but he wasn't there enough for me
I
to
wish
say.
I hadn't listened to the spoilers that you had given before I watched that film.
I think it
Because
would
when
have
he
been
killed
better.
himself, I knew it was coming.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been better to not have
Yeah.
known that. Yeah. And again, I think the film itself could be nominated for something, and I think it'd probably be worthy of it.
I think it's
So-
gonna win.
Yeah, I think Three Billboards is going to win that category.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then it's going to be Shape of Water.
I don't know if I overhyped it in my mind because I watched it and I was quite disappointed. Like, it was a good film, but there was just something about it. I was just like, what is all the hype about? Like, yeah, Frances McDormand's really good, but it's quite a, sweary film, and she's basically being nominated for how vehemently she can tell someone to fuck off. And, like, yeah, Sam Rockwell's very good, but I'm not sure I bought into his redemption arc. Like,
I agree with that.
I don't feel like the actions that we see him doing to redeem himself actually mitigate at all any of the actions that he does.
I agree.
Because then he's like a racist throughout, and then he punches a white guy, beats up a white.
He almost kills that guy.
Yeah, and he's like, you see, I hate white people too, or something. And I was like, well, that doesn't make it okay, does it? And then he actually towards the end they both go off and plan to kill someone.
I think that ending knows the point. I think the ending shows that neither of them are like the perfect individual. It's almost like they have this idea of what is right and wrong.
Yeah,
and
they're all
come
very
together to like
conflicted.
Yeah,
in terms of their.
I do get
morals.
what you mean. Like there's no. I do get what you mean, but I just thought because we went in it not thinking much of it. We were just like, okay, it's going to be about 3 billboards. Let's see this story go through. I mean, whether the part of Woody. Was it Harrelson? Whether his character was that necessary to the plot, again, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
and I know.
Is it based on a true story?
No. I understand why you hate Abby Cornish. Jesus Christ.
She was terrible.
I was like, is she Australian? Is she American?
She's such a bad actress, honestly.
And she's at least like 15 years younger than Woody Harrelson.
Honestly.
She was in it for like, I'm not even joking, like 10 minutes, and she was bad. Or 10 minutes. Like even the bits where she was upset, she was bad.
And I felt like Peter Dinklage's character, and even
he was
unnecessary, and to the husband, the ex-husband, was also that could have been explored more.
Wife.
Yeah, she was funny.
I genuinely thought that was
Margot
Robbie.
What?
That girl.
Really?
She looks bare like her. Bare like her, man.
Have you guys seen the trailer for I, Tonya?
Yeah.
Apparently it's meant to be really good.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
The trailer doesn't make me particularly want to watch it, but I will watch it.
Yeah.
I think there's a screen unseen, not this Monday, the Monday after.
What's
I think
the date
it
of
might be that 5th of Feb, because it's about 2 weeks before I, Tonya comes out. I think it's probably
Yeah.
I, Tonya.
Are you gonna go on Valentine's Day to see Black Panther?
It comes out the 16th in the UK.
Oh, is it?
What?
Yeah.
But no,
Unlucky.
I've got plans.
Well, hopefully Pizza Hut's some dough this year. Last year I ordered a sad story for Chris over here.
Did you say hopefully Peeps have got some dough?
Pizza Hut has some dough.
Oh, I thought you were saying that I'm cheap or something.
Well, hopefully you do have some dough in it, but
You are cheap, to be fair.
yeah, you are a little cheap.
Yeah, fair enough. So what, you ordered a solitary lonely pizza last
For
year?
Valentine's Day, yeah.
And they had no dough?
And do you know what's worse? I ordered it online, so it took 2 weeks to get my refund.
Oh my god.
Shit.
How does Pizza Hut run out of dough?
Fuck no,
So many lonely people.
You could have gone to Papa John's.
No, it's all them bloody people saving up
You're
to get a
Domino's,
house,
you're-
mate. They're getting a Domino's.
You've got 4 pizza places within about
I went and got a
2-minute walk.
Domino's later, but I prefer Pizza Hut, so I was quite upset at the moment. Especially as they took half an hour to 40 minutes to tell me that they weren't going to give me my pizza.
Oh, yeah.
We're not endorsed by Pizza Hut or terms and conditions apply, blah 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 blah.
I will.
This podcast is not
If-
sponsored by.
If Pizza Hut want to give me their equivalent of Nando's Black Card, then
Yeah.
yes, please.
We can change the name to your average extra large pepperoni pizza supreme stuffed crust. I don't mind, I'll sell out.
Yeah, no, I will as well. Or KFC.
So what
Hear
do you
my
think
call.
will win best, Glenn?
What I think will win is Shape of Water.
Can you tell me the other 3 that I haven't watched? Lady
Call
Bird.
Me By Your Name,
Yeah.
Lady Bird, and Phantom Thread.
Dunkirk.
Oh, do you know what I've got?
You
Oh,
ever seen
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, have you?
No.
Phantom Thread and Lady Bird, I think, come out soon.
Why is Dunkirk in there?
Because it's about.
I feel like
it's a
that's-
war
I feel like it's
reference.
Oh, do you know what's going to win?
cinematography
Do you know what's
rather
going
than
to win?
actual film content.
It's Lady Bird, innit? That thing
Apparently
was
it's really
bare.
good. Apparently it's really good.
Oh, no,
But
you know.
I mean, we'll talk about it when we come to director. But Dunkirk is Christopher Nolan's first nomination for best director,
Really?
which I'm very surprised at
Mm.
because I think he's a very good director. But the next category is lead actor.
Yeah, but just because he's a good actor doesn't mean it's an Oscar-nominated film.
Director.
I know.
Director.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Lead actor Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis because he's Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, Daniel
It's the last
Kaluuya.
film, apparently, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently.
Well, that's probably why.
Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out, Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour, and Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire. So
I want to see that film now.
I want to see it. Gary Oldman was really good.
Yeah.
So if they give it to him, I wouldn't be.
He done Churchill, right?
Yeah, he was really good at it, actually.
He's
Again,
actually in a lot of films that
I don't think I've
you
seen the
don't
others.
think he
Yeah, I know.
realise he's in. He's quite a good.
I think a lot of people forget that he's Sirius Black as well.
Yeah.
He plays obviously the
Definitely
policeman
watch
in The Dark Knight.
I'll try and watch it at some
He
point.
does loads of films. Yeah,
Easy.
yeah.
I do want to see Call Me by Your Name because that.
I want to see all of those. Like I want because Lady Bird, Call Me by My Name,
by your name,
by your name. The one that you just said.
Phantom Thread.
No, not
Roman J. Israel.
Yeah, that one. I want to see them three because they keep coming up,
Yeah.
and I feel like if they keep coming up, something's gonna happen with them, and we need to see it and be ready to give the it's not in probably, to give the verdict on them really.
Yeah. Well, good to see Daniel Kaluuya, British actor, being nominated for Get Out. I think I'm
True.
right in saying that he's only the 5th black person to be nominated for Best Actor. 5th
Wow.
different person to be nominated.
5.
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
I don't know who the others are. I think it must be like Samuel Jackson,
It'd be them-
Morgan
It'd be
Freeman,
them two.
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington. Will Smith
Okay.
got nominated for Pursuit of Happiness. Forrest Whitaker got nominated.
And he didn't
for-
win?
No,
Oh.
because
Maybe I'm wrong then.
Forrest Whitaker won for shit. What film is it?
Oh, Last King of Scotland.
That's the one.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong then.
That's
No,
6.
I
isn't it?
did hear something about only 5
Yeah.
black guys.
Maybe Samuel Jackson's never been nominated.
And there was something
I don't
about
know.
five female actresses.
5 female directors, yeah.
Directors.
So,
that's the one,
And then, so I mean, I've seen one of those films, so I can't really comment.
What's that on?
Get Out. So
I've seen 2.
out of Gary Oldman and Daniel Kaluuya, who would you?
I would say Gary Oldman because
I think
don't get me wrong though, he was very good in Get Out, but for me Get Out wasn't it was a good film, but it wasn't a film where I was like I
Yeah.
really must see this again because it was just a bit thought provoking like you said earlier.
But I've been
What about the performance rather than the film?
The performance it was good.
I thought he done very well in the film. To be fair,
Yeah.
he gave a very.
Yeah, I suppose I forget about that scene where he's sitting in
Convincing.
the chair. Actually, it was quite
And the
a
thing
deep.
is, I've been an advocate for like Oscars recognising different genres of films, like for a long time. You know, I think I'm not saying it should be nominated, but if a film like The Avengers or Fast and Furious, if someone gives a really good performance in that, then they should be nominated. But I feel like there's this kind of
Hugh Jackman in Logan.
yeah, it's like this stigma. It's like, oh, this film was commercially successful, you know, which shouldn't be nominated, sort of thing.
That's a good point. Why is Hugh Jackman not nominated for Logan? Is it because it's a superhero?
Probably, yeah.
Probably. I mean, Logan
Such a
is
sting.
nominated for best original screenplay, I think. But
Yeah, it is because I saw a thing the other day about it.
Yeah, I saw that.
the nominations for lead actress are Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water, Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird, who won the Golden Globe, and Meryl Streep for being Meryl Streep. So,
Is Meryl Streep for The Post?
yeah. She's been nominated 21 times.
I thought she was good in the post.
I'm not saying she
21.
wasn't good, but
She's a good actor.
Oscar worthy.
Times.
I don't
She's
know if
been
it's
in good
Oscar worthy
film, that's
performance. Like, Tom Hanks was good in The Post,
Yeah.
but was he Oscar worthy? It was just Tom Hanks. Do you know what I mean? Like,
He's not nominated, by the way.
No, fair
What was the
play.
Golden Globe he got nominated for?
But I don't like. He was just Tom Hanks in the film.
Right.
Like there was no like definitive characteristic from him, which I thought was like, wow, I really feel for you in this film. Like, so it's like the guy who plays Better Call Saul.
Bob Odenkirk.
He was in it. I felt he gave the strongest performance out of probably all of them, and he didn't really have that big of. He had a big part to play in the film, but he didn't have that much to play in the film. If that makes sense. Like, he wasn't in it a lot.
Have you reviewed The Post yet on the podcast?
No.
Do you want to talk about it now while we're on the topic?
Yeah, go for it. I thought it was a really good film.
What's it about?
Please.
So the Post is about the newspaper, the Washington Post, and basically the head of it, he commits suicide. We don't see this. This is, and so his wife takes over. That's Meryl Streep. Kathy Graham. I want to say Graham. I don't think that's right, but it's Kathy or Kat. So yeah, basically the film starts with her about to take her her business public, like do an IPO and stuff like that. and basically it's her trying to like convince investors that we're releasing the right amount of shares, blah 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 blah. Like she goes through like this whole thing with her like advisor about all that the good points of the film, and then when it comes to good points of the film, about the good points of the plan to go public.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the point in the board meeting, like the geezer asked her the question that she literally been preparing for the scene before, and she just completely froze. And then the guy had to like take over for her, and they showed like when she walked into that room full of old white men, and she was like the only woman. So I think she felt quite like they've shown like her
Intimidated,
because it was quite like a male dominated industry, I suppose.
Yeah.
So then you also get so like I think it's what year is it? 1960 something, 1968 maybe. So the Vietnam War is in session, and
has been for a while.
yeah. I don't even know what
It's in session.
It's in session.
No, but according to this film, it's been going on for some years now, I think.
The war itself didn't go on for that long,
Oh.
but I think the film was pointing out all the conflict leading up to.
Oh,
leading
right,
up
okay,
to that
right,
war.
okay.
I think the war itself was less than 6 years, I think.
Okay,
But
right.
so then they show this news reporter guy or journalist. He basically takes loads of government secrets and gives them to the New York Times, and the New York Times is like basically the Washington Post are like we want to be like the New York Times because they were like the big newspaper at the time, getting all the big stories, blah 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 blah. And it was basically this report that he stole from the government. I don't know if he stole it actually, but
Reports.
yeah, that he took from the government was basically showing like how much America fucked up with the Vietnam War,
And they knew they did as
and
well.
they knew they fucked up, and just and basically kept sending soldiers over there to die to save face, pretty much.
And they did all these statistics and everything, and they took every note possible and they put it into reports about it all. Which, for me, if you're gonna commit such a monstrosity of not monstrosity, but if you're gonna commit such a load of people to do this task and you know it's gonna fail, why would you make so many reports to inevitably have your downfall?
Yeah.
So they showed that. So the president at the time in the film was Nixon, and they showed that basically this had been going on since, like all this fuckery had been going on since Truman was president. So that's literally that's like 4 or 5 presidents before.
Yeah,
so it was Truman, Eisenhower,
So the
Johnson.
the conflict
Kennedy.
in Vietnam had been bubbling since Truman.
Basically.
Okay.
And so
So that's thought provoking. That makes you think.
Yeah.
What else has been going on for?
Yeah.
Anyway.
They love a cover up, don't
yeah,
they?
exactly. So
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Yeah.
So the New York Times posts the story, and Nixon basically does like a court order to put an embargo on them, basically saying like don't post these, otherwise
You can no longer do any more news.
we'll destroy a newspaper. And then the same guy who supplied the New York Times sends the same thing to loads of different newspapers, but I think the Washington Post received it first. And basically they were just bad and deliberating of whether or not they should post it, because obviously if they print it, they come under, they're violating
The injunction.
Well,
injunction.
Well, you kind of said Tom Hanks wanted to post it.
Yeah.
It was like everyone else was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, should we? Shouldn't we?"
To be fair, all the reporters wanted to post it, and then it was the lawyers who were coming and saying, "No, guys, we can't." And all the businessmen, because they'd just gone public,
Yeah.
so they were saying like, "Oh, we can't do this; it'll ruin our share price and all stuff." like
Basically, and within a week, the people who committed shares can actually revert it back.
All right.
So as long as they don't do anything stupid within a week, they're good.
that. Yeah. So like Meryl Streep's character is going through all of this like, oh, what should I do? What should I do? And there's people saying that like she's not good at business because she's a woman, and like if her husband was here, then he wouldn't be doing that, and blah blah blah. So she's like kind of like struggling with herself whether or not to go with Tom Hanks' side or to go with her lawyer's side. In the end, she decides to print it. So then I think they
They go to court. don't
yeah,
they?
they go to court again because Nixon obviously is like.
Because basically the whole thing is that they're not allowed. If they got the information, that's one thing. It's because they got the information from the same source.
As the New York Times.
But isn't that the First Amendment? Is freedom of speech?
Exactly, they do mention that in the film.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they say it's like a violation of freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And so like they print the story, they win the injunction against the injunction or whatever, and basically they find out that loads of other papers have followed suit. So like there's a scene where Tom Hanks gets like a whole bag of newspapers and just slaps them all on the table, and they've all got like similar stories to what they've got because they've all been sent the same information. But the Washington Post were like the first ones to like pioneer it basically after the New York Times had been warned. And yeah, that was pretty much the crux of the film. And then you had obviously there was a part where Meryl Streep was kind of like asked her advisor again for advice. Like she asked whether or not she should print it, and the advisor said no, and she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna print it," which kind of like shows like like female like women power and stuff like that.
And he did support her as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he supported the decision. Even though like the businessmen were like, "Oh, what's she doing?" sort of thing, and he was like, "It's her company; she can do what she wants," sort of thing. And then Sarah Paulson, who played Tom Hanks' wife, she basically did a nice little speech about how like how male dominated the industry was, and how like the burden that was on Meryl Streep's character was so grand because she's like basically one of the only women in that field, and if she makes like one mistake, that's it for her, and probably sets back women like decades. Whereas if it was a man and you make a mistake, oh okay, I get fired, I get another job next week sort of thing. So yeah, and then they're kind of like they did a bit where she was walking into the Supreme Court or some sort of court, and there was just like loads of women like lined up, and it was like all like, in awe of her sort of thing because she's the man or the woman, so
controversial.
And and it ended with it ended with basically Nixon being recorded. This is the actual like real what happened in real life. Him recording saying like I want the Washington Post banned from the White House. They're not allowed to get any coverage in the White House. Like no advisors are allowed to talk to them. Blah blah blah. And then it goes to the start of the Watergate scandal that got Nixon impeached.
Ah, nice. Okay.
So, I thought the first 20 minutes was quite slow, but after that it got really interesting.
Even though it sounds like quite like a talky film, but it kept the interest.
Yeah, because I didn't know anything about it, so for me it was an eye opener. It was the same with Darkest Hour. I knew little to nothing about it, so it was just like, wow, okay, this is interesting kind of thing. And I did try and look up about the Washington Post as well afterwards, but I couldn't find anything about them not being allowed back in the office. But yeah.
So of the 3 films, Shape of Water, 3 Billboards, and The Post, which actress would you say is most deserving?
Frances, whatever her name is, McDormand.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would actually.
Okay.
What was the other 2 options? Lady Bird Girl's gonna win it, though, isn't it?
Potentially. Frances McDormand would be her second Oscar win after Fargo.
Oh really? Oh wow. Okay. I don't see that.
Best Supporting Actor, the nominations are Willem Dafoe for your favourite film, The Florida Project, Woody Harrelson for 3 Billboards, Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water, Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World, Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards.
For me it's got to be the America one, Florida Project.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Even though so he shines out of a terrible.
Does he? Oh my good God! Well, if that was such a wow film for everyone else, bar me and Obi, then yeah, he definitely deserves it. If we think he's wow and it wasn't a great film, then he definitely deserves it.
Do you know what's great though? Florida Project didn't get nominated for a damn thing, or not really the film based one. Fantastic.
Oh God, it is so horrid. It's such a bad film.
It's interesting that 2 actors are nominated. 2 out of 5 are for 3 Billboards. So Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell. I think Sam Rockwell's performance is better. And it helps he's in it for longer, but he's got more to do.
If it's not going to be William Dafoe, then it's going to be Sam Rockwell.
Yeah. I feel like this is one of the weaker
I agree, it's kind of weak.
Categories. I think the lead actress one's very strong. But then, you've got like Christopher Plummer. I feel like he's nominated because he did all this in like 10 days.
Yeah.
It's just because they wanted to nominate someone in that category, wasn't it? I don't think it's necessarily because Christopher Plummer did it.
They were pushing for Kevin Spacey to get it, but
that's what I mean. Yeah. So I think they just did it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
After.
So I mean, I haven't seen the Florida Project, but I've seen the other 4, and I would probably say Sam Rockwell would deserve it for that. But that'd be an interesting one to see. And then supporting actress got Mary J. Blige for Mudbound, Alison Janney for I, Tonya, Leslie Manville for Phantom Thread, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, and Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water. To be honest, I've seen 2 of those.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't notice an exceptional performance from either Mary J. Blige or Octavia Spencer.
Same.
They were both just they were good performances, but they weren't outstanding.
Well, yeah, out of those 2, I would choose. Well, I haven't seen one of them actually, so
Then I've seen Alison Janney in the trailer for I, Tonya, and she seemed pretty good in that, so I'll give it to her.
I'm gonna go for Ladybird Girl again.
Laurie Metcalf.
Yep.
I have no idea who she is, but cool. So, what's that, 5 or 6 categories so far? Any omissions that you think, oh, so-and-so wasn't nominated? Because, I mean, obviously, James Franco won Best Actor at the Golden Globes, but he's not nominated. I think that's probably due to the fallout of the kind of allegations that came out after his win. Do you think that might have impacted it?
No.
Who else was the leading actor?
Timothée Chalamet, Daniel Day-Lewis, Daniel Kaluuya, Gary Oldman, and Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a strong category.
It's strong, yeah, because...
What do you think if James Franco was in it, he'd win it?
No.
No.
I don't think so. I was thinking, like, obviously he won the Golden Globe, but then he's not nominated for an Oscar. I was wondering if that has been impacted.
I don't think so. I think these were chosen a while back. And I didn't hear anything of them saying, oh, it's Oscar worthy.
Okay.
And again, it's like the points, like what you say all the time, should it reflect? It's a bit of a controversial topic, isn't it, really?
But no notable omissions for Best Actor,
Not
Actress.
that I think of off the top of my head, but I'm just blanking at the minute, to be honest with you.
Yeah, same.
I should have given you more prep for this, but...
It's alright, we'll think about it next week, because it's not for another few weeks, is it?
Okay. Well then, just a few more categories. We've got for Best Director, Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan, Jordan Peele for Get Out, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, and I think she is one of only a handful of females ever to be nominated for Best Director. One of them obviously being Catherine Bigelow.
I am surprised that Patty Jenkins didn't get nominated.
Well,
I know Wonder Woman's I know it's a comic book film, but because of all the overwhelming praise that film's getting, and obviously her being a woman directing a film that's led by a woman as well, I'm just surprised she didn't just get a little nom. I wouldn't think she would have won, but I'm surprised.
I think Patty Jenkins has the highest budget for a woman, highest grossing ever for a woman. That's those landmarks.
But then some people would say Lady Bird didn't get as much of a budget, and they've done just as well. So should they not be more nominated because they've done more with less?
Well, it depends if it's grossed 800 million.
Well, you said these are majority small films, not very big ones, so...
And then the other 2 are Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread and Guillermo del Toro for Shape of Water.
I personally think that it should be... So, what was the one we've seen?
Dunkirk, Shape of Water, Get Out.
No, So personally, I'd say it's the guy who did Get Out. However, I haven't seen Lady Bird, and it seems to be getting a lot of praise. So
yeah.
I think that might be strong enough to win it. I don't know. When is that out in England? Do we know?
It's February.
Is it? I'm going to watch that.
Are you surprised that Steven Spielberg didn't get nominated for The Post and that Martin McDonagh didn't get nominated for 3 Billboards? Considering they're both up for Best Film.
This is what I had this trouble last year. How do you determine Best Director?
It's nominated for Best Film, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor twice.
Yeah.
You think
these categories need more structure into why you have these certain what attributes go towards this category? Because if you've got the best film, then surely you've got the best director, surely you've got the best screenplay, surely you've got the only things that you might not have are the best music, the best supporting actors, actresses, the best actor, actresses. They're the only ones that could differ from it. But the others I feel like are so interlocked or interlinked with one another that they inherently should
tough,
be like, unless you say I've been nominated for one, so therefore you can't be in another. But it would say otherwise, wouldn't it? Because it's a bit of a...
So I guess I don't really know. I feel like we haven't seen Lady Bird or Phantom Thread, but of the 3 that we've seen, I would like Jordan Peele to win it, but I think Guillermo del Toro might.
There was one.
I want Jordan Peele to win
I
it.
thought was really quite interesting. I can't remember which one. It was cinematography. That I thought was actually quite a strong category. So,
okay, we'll get to that in a sec. But we've got animated feature.
I want to watch one. I'm going to watch a few of these. Just cause.
The Oscar-nominated Boss Baby.
Oh wow! Okay.
The Breadwinner.
Boss Baby, really?
I mean,
Wow.
they have to think of 5 animated films to put in here, and they're like,
Is Moana not in there?
Moana came out
That was
2 years
2016,
ago.
I think.
Really?
Yeah, Coco
Okay.
is nominated.
Just saw.
Ferdinand, and then
That
Loving
one with the ball?
Vincent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Which
watching
John
that.
Cena voices, and Loving Vincent. So I mean, I would say Coco.
Was Coco good? Do you want to talk about Coco?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said a couple of weeks ago, I loved it.
Yeah, but Obi saw it.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was actually right. Miguel's kind of annoying. Like, I was kind of like, you're a dick, aren't you?
Why?
Like, you're just a bit of a twat. Like,
He just wants to have
Nah, he's
music.
a bit of a twat though, like, because when what's his face? What was his name? Hector.
Hector.
When he was like, oh yeah, take my picture back. Do you know what? The actual concept of the film I thought was really, really good.
Yeah.
Like the whole like Dia de los Muertos and all that stuff. You got to put a picture on the Alfredo or something
Alfredo, yeah. You
And
know a
then-
bit of Spanish, don't you?
Not really.
like that. So like,
Joe is still here, by the way.
yeah, sorry Joe.
I don't
So,
watch a lot of
he just
films.
doesn't watch
so
films.
I'm listening.
When it comes to TV, we'll loop you back in.
Smash it.
We'll loop you back in. But so yeah, like the film basically, this kid. I think you've already explained it anyway, but I'll just go through it quickly for Joe's sake, because do you know what it's about?
No, not
Okay.
really.
So this Mexican kid called Miguel, who basically his family have banned music because how like 3 or 4 generations before the male of the father of the
Patriarch.
family, patriarch, thank you, left to pursue his dream of music and left a daughter and a wife behind.
Right.
And he was a musician.
Right.
So they were like, yeah, fuck music, no music, you can't listen to music, you can't play music, blah blah. Miguel is obsessed with music, like he wants to be a guitar player. And so like he basically like runs away from home to try and steal a guitar so he can play. That is guitar of a dead man, and he strums the guitar and then somehow ends up into the
Realm of the Dead.
realm of the dead, yeah.
Right. Okay.
And so he sees like all his family from like however many
As skeletons.
Right, okay.
as skeletons. So basically it's him trying to get the blessing of a family member so he can go back to the real world and play music.
Okay.
So that the concept of the film I actually thought was quite interesting. It was really good. But Miguel was a bit of a dick. Like, so like when his great grand or whatever was like, yeah, I give you my blessing. Don't play music. And then she sends it back first time. First thing he does is grab the guitar and fucking try and run away with it and get sent back to the dead realm again. I was like, okay, that's strike 1. Strike 2 was when Hector was like, yeah, take my picture. Take my picture so that I can see my daughter, so that I can visit the
Land of the Living.
the land of the living
Yeah.
once, at least once.
Because if no living person remembers them, then they die again.
Yeah,
Don't
like,
they?
yeah, that was I like that as well. I don't know
Yeah.
if that is that a Mexican
I don't know.
thing.
I don't know.
Look that up, 'cause that's actually quite
Maybe, because that would explain why they have the Festival of the Dead.
Yeah, it's all about
It's
remembering.
all about dead, yeah. So yeah, he's like to Miguel, take my picture, so I can and take it back to you and put it up so that I can come back either this year or next year, whenever. And Miguel basically tells him to fuck off, throws the picture back at him, runs away because he's angry or something, whatever. Dick. Strike 2. Strike 3. This is him being fucking stupid because obviously he did it in the end, but like right at the end of the film, he's got Hector's guitar. And he's about to play it and like he brings it to Coco and he's like, "Oh, Coco, do you remember him? Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Do you remember him?" I was like, play the fucking song. I was getting so angry.
Yeah.
I was like, play the song, you absolute dickhead. He played it eventually, but fucking Coco nearly died before he played
Coco's his
before he
grandmother.
bloody played
Oh,
it.
okay.
And she's got
Yeah.
dementia.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Go on, Bennett.
and it's
That's right.
her father who's one who ran
right.
away, but
Right.
he died before he could come back to his family.
Yeah.
Right.
So there was a nice twist in that he fought. So the guy who he looked up to, Ernesto de la
De la
Cruz.
Cruz, yeah.
So he thought that was, and he's like one of the most famous musicians ever. He thought that was his granddad. Great granddad or great granddad. And it turns out that the guy who he met, Hector, who everyone thought was like this bum, basically, who no one liked or loved because he wasn't able to go back to the land of the living, actually turns out to be his great granddad. That was a nice twist. I didn't see that coming. That was decent. But yeah, It's a good film.
Yeah.
I
Do you
like
not
it.
find it quite emotional? Like, because when the next year, then he puts Coco's.
Oh, at the end, yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
great. That was great, but no, I didn't really feel any sort of emotion before that.
No,
But
no,
it was
but
just- yeah, but that was good.
the ending-
Solid film. I like that song, Pollo Loco. That was a great song. And Remember Me was decent.
Remember
Yeah, I
Me.
need to get the soundtrack. That was all right.
That's
But
right.
no, it's a solid film.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad.
Do you feel like it's doing a disservice to animation to have it as a separate category? Do you feel like
No, because it's never gonna win.
Nah.
Really?
Yeah,
It's never gonna win.
I agree 100% with Obi on that
so
one.
something like Toy
Up.
Story, Up, Inside Out could
Doesn't
not be
compare.
No, 'cause
considered?
adults ain't gonna vote for this,
But why? Because they're cross generational.
Adults
nah.
love that up.
but they're not gonna. Who's gonna vote? Nah, who's gonna? I'm sorry. If you've got Coco against Shape of Water in the Oscar,
But why does a film have to?
Think
cater
like
to
this, yeah.
adults to be best film.
Think it like this, yeah. Like there's like people doing like proper films and they're having to walk around and actually act and portray these roles, while an animation is just a voice. So if you want to do a voice,
Yeah, but then
speaking-
you're doing disservice to the animators and the hard work that they put in and
Well,
all
then
the
I
rendering
think-
and visualization.
I think no, because I think in that way, respect, then there should be a separate award ceremony for the animations. If you're going to be like that about it, because they do something completely different to what an actor does. A voice actor
Chris makes a
speaks,
good point,
and
actually.
like so Groot, for example, like so he just says Groot all the time, but he has to like portray it in the way that you're saying a sentence, and he has his separate script compared to it. But he's not doing an actor's job. He's voicing something.
But that's still acting, is it not?
No,
Because you
it's
could
voicing.
have Meryl Streep give, like, in a non-verbal way, a great performance. But if her delivery is really flat,
To
then
be
you're going
fair,
to say that she's a bad
Mm.
to
actress.
disprove your point a little bit,
Yeah.
what's her face from Shape of Water didn't speak throughout the whole film.
That's a good
That's not
point.
true. She sung.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if take that, out of the film,
Yeah,
she's still,
I know.
getting
Yeah,
nominated.
yeah. But she's acting. She's doing stuff like when you just for me, you're just doing the voice in an animation personally. But I don't know. Maybe that's how I'm trying to.
The artist won Best Film, and that's silent film.
I'm just trying to.
I know,
I'm trying to envision what they're thinking really.
And
But
plus, if you are voice acting, you still have to portray the right emotions at the right time. It's still
true. But then you could change an animation to fit in with how the person's speaking, rather than if I'm being an actor in front of you, I have to really show you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't. But I just think I
You
don't.
just think they
I don't
wouldn't
agree.
win.
I don't think
agree
it
or
will
disagree-
compete.
I don't agree or disagree with anything
Yeah.
you're saying. But I'm just saying you can't put them in the same category as
I-
their films
I-
because
I
they
agree,
won't, because
yeah.
they won't win. Simple as that.
Just a quick interesting fact. Kobe Bryant is Oscar nominated for the animated short Dear Basketball. Kobe!
And
Luo!
in like 2000, he was accused of rape. So
Oh.
yeah, there goes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think he was acquitted. But it was the allegations of that. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry.
I take back that Kobe. The nominations for Best Adapted Screenplay, which means it's not original, it's adapted from something else, a book or whatever,
Oh, right, yeah.
comic book. Call Me By Your Name, Disaster Artist, Logan, Molly's Game, and Mudbound.
Say them again. What was the
Call Me By Your Name,
what was the option? Sorry, based on the
Adapted
book.
Screenplay.
Oh, okay.
So Call Me By Your Name, Disaster Artist, Logan, Molly's Game, Mudbound.
Logan.
I wouldn't say the script for Logan was great.
I'd probably say Disaster Artist is vision for vision, like what it is.
I would have
But
said
then
Molly's,
that's-
Molly's Game.
but then
Molly's
that-
Game was like...
Do you base it on like how accurate it is compared to what it's been?
Well, no, it's an adapted screenplay, so
Well, I don't
It's
really know.
Because-
I think it's just like whether the screenplay was good, but obviously it's not original. It's based on something previous.
I haven't really seen any of them, but Logan, have I? What was the other ones?
You saw the Disaster Artist?
No, I didn't.
No.
Nope.
You're tearing me apart, Chris.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Molly's going to win that. Original screenplay: The Big Sick, Get Out, Lady Bird, The Shape of Water, and Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
What was the category again?
Original
original
screenplay.
screenplay.
So based on no previous.
Someone made it up.
Again, I haven't seen Lady Bird, so I can't comment, and that seems to be quite a big film.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pass on this category.
I think Three Billboards is in with a
I
shout.
also thought about it a bit more, and voice actors are actors, so I don't know what.
And then Obi, this was your interesting category:
Yeah.
cinematography. So
Thanks.
Blade Runner 2049, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Mudbound, and The Shape of Water. And interestingly enough, Rachel Morrison becomes the first female ever to be nominated in the Best Cinematography category for Mudbound.
I've only seen one of them, but
I would give it to Blade Runner.
yeah, I was gonna
Visually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's so
I haven't
impressive.
seen
yeah.
Mudbound, so I'm gonna have to give it to none of them because I've not seen any of them. I don't think.
You want Blade Runner?
No,
Fucking
I haven't watched the first one.
Making the most of your bloody
You don't-
Odeon pass, are you? I
You
didn't
don't
watch
need
the
to watch
first
the first one.
Yeah.
one. Oh.
Although, shout out to the cinematographer for Dunkirk. His name is Hoyt van Hoytma. So,
Reason.
good name, mate.
Yeah.
So that's the Oscar nominations. And obviously we haven't kind of gone through all of them. There's so many.
Some of them just-
I mean, Baby Driver's nominated for Best Film Editing and Sound Editing and Sound Mixing.
What's that? Have you got soundtrack? Best soundtrack there?
Original score, Dunkirk, Phantom Thread, Shape of Water, Star Wars, and Three Billboards. Original song, Be Mighty River for Mudbound, Mary J. Blige, which makes her the first actress to be nominated for original song and actress. Mystery of Love from Call Me By Your Name, Remember Me from Coco, Stand Up for Something from Marshall, and This Is Me from The Great Showman.
I want to. Do you know what? Let me just quickly say, Odeon is kind of shit because
Other shit cinemas are available.
other shit's not over there. But there are actually so many films that I've seen have come out and just been and gone that I just literally wanted to watch but just never saw because I never saw the opportunity to see them because they were shown at Odeon for like 3 days and then that's
Like
it.
what?
You never seen one. Marshall. I still haven't seen the trailer for that.
Really?
Yeah, really wanted to watch it. Apparently coming out in October. I haven't fucking seen it. There's another one I think it might be one of the Oscar nominated ones. It might be I don't know. But one of them come out and I was like, when the fuck did this come out? I haven't fucking watched it.
I remember I wanted
Excuse
to go
my
and watch.
language.
I wanted to go and watch Patty Cakes, and that
I
came
was like
out.
for like 3 days.
Yeah, I don't want to trek all the way to Wimbledon to go and watch it.
Fuck Odeon, man. Other cinema passes are available.
Yeah, there are 3 nominations for makeup and hair, which evidently no makeup and hair was used in any other film in the last 12 months. Visual effects: Blade Runner 2049, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Kong Skull Island, Star Wars, and War for the Planet of the Apes.
What's that? What's that for?
Visual effects.
Visual effects.
You just think because I know Transformers has won Oscars for visual effects, but they never say Oscar-winning film
No.
because they're just like.
You think they put on
Meh.
slap on the DVD or something?
Yeah, even
They definitely, if they want to sell DVDs this time around, they definitely need to do it.
like
Although,
Suicide Squad
I
won
say
for
this,
something.
I bought it, so.
Oh, it was hair and makeup.
Was it hair and
Yeah,
makeup?
Oh, do any of you want to watch Transformers again? I've got it on DVD.
Not really.
Why have you
Why
got it on
don't- yeah,
DVD?
why don't you have
Mate, I have the whole collection, mate.
Oh God, no. it's
I may
dreadful.
one day probably never watch it again.
No. Well, so that's the Oscar nominations. We'll talk about them when they are kind of when they're announced, which I think is end of Feb sort of time.
Yeah.
Maybe March. But we haven't heard
March.
much from you, Joe. So
No.
what have you been watching?
Well, I've mainly been watching stuff that's come out on Netflix.
Okay.
One being Bleach, which is another anime.
Okay.
Is that in English on
That
Netflix?
is in English. Go on.
I'm maybe I misheard, but I did hear that maybe they're doing a Bleach live action. Is that true?
Oh, really?
That is correct.
Oh, they are. What's Bleach about?
Oh, Jesus.
Is it about chemical cleaning products?
It's about
I
a guy who souls.
So, to set up the law, there are 1, 2, 3.
The law is this L-O-R-E or L-A-W?
No, L-O-R-E.
R-E. Okay.
There are 4 races. Well, 4 main people.
Right.
Type of people.
Yeah.
You've got humans, soul reapers, hollows, and quincies.
Quincy's.
Quincies.
Quincy obeys.
Quincies.
Quincy
Huh?
Wusu obeys.
That's Quincy. They got it.
So basically, the main character's called Ichigo Kurosaki. Yeah.
I would not remember that.
He's reading
I've
it.
got
I was gonna
it up there. I wouldn't have remembered.
I didn't
that.
realise it was in English
Joe's
because
got it up.
I've been wanting to watch that for ages.
Yeah, no, it's in English. I'm not that impressed by it.
Is it dubbed or subtitled?
Dubbed. Basically, there are these things called hollows, which are basically dead people that turn into
Monsters.
spirit demons,
Right.
and the Quincy's and the Soul Reapers basically destroy them to stop them terrorizing people when they come back into the human realm. Quincy's destroy them forever, and from what I can gather, when Quincy's kill hollows, it means there's less when people die, there's less people that can go into the afterlife. When Soul Reapers kill them, they cleanse them so that more people can go in.
Right.
And basically, Ichigo meets a Soul Reaper called Rukia by mistake because Ichigo can see dead people, basically.
Okay.
I can see.
So he's the Haley Joel Osment of this.
Exactly. And basically, this Rukia girl gets injured quite badly by a hollow, gives Ichigo all of her powers, and they have weapons that are called
It's like a big
big swords.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah.
they got big swords.
Okay.
Ichigo gets a big sword, becomes a Soul Reaper, and that's pretty much as far as I've got. It's not.
Oh, so you're not that many episodes in then?
Well, I'm on season 2.
Oh, right.
And it doesn't progress very well. It's not fantastic.
Okay.
So some of the visuals are quite good. So
Well,
Is that why
it's one of the
watching
biggest.
it? Continue.
yeah,
It's one of the. Well, it's not one of the biggest, but it was quite a relevant anime.
It is
at
quite.
the time.
It is quite a big anime. The only problem with it is
It's no longer ongoing.
There's
It's
too many
stopped.
fillers.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
really?
Yeah.
So how many episodes is each series?
So I think
23?
20,
Oh, is it 20?
Right. Okay.
20 episodes each series, which is not a lot, but
No, it's
out
not.
of those 20, I'd say maybe 14,
There's like-
15 are fillers.
in these.
15 are fillers.
Yeah.
Out of how many?
20.
The
So 3/4 of your series is
the
filler.
the main story of the thing is not done.
So how
very
far are you
well.
into season 2?
Episode 4.
Okay, because for me, like in cartoons, sometimes they kind of so they feel like they don't have enough story because they're only 20 minutes sometimes, but I don't know
Yeah.
how long they are. So
This is 20 minutes.
like, it's almost like they got the secondary story, which there's loads of secondary stories.
Yeah.
So like, there's a love interest story.
Because there's so many characters in there, they want to.
Yeah. It's like, so what they did for
Expand
so
on every
Naruto, so really famous one. It's had like 700 plus episodes, no longer going, but they've gone on to Boruto, and there was a whole arc where it was like the fourth great ninja war, and basically there was a thing, the infinite
Infinite Tsukuyomi.
yeah, that one, and basically it puts everyone to sleep and it gives them their best reality kind of thing, and they're all pretty happy, and you kind of
Yeah.
like have this
It
kind of
basically
conflict with yourself whether you'd want them to stay in it because they're living happy, or whether
Yeah.
they should be out of it because they should have free will kind of thing. But they have an episode for nearly all the main characters, all the
a
second characters.
flashback.
Yeah.
A flashback.
So there's
episode.
20-minute episodes for all of them, leading
Okay.
up to them. I don't know why they do this. Because like, they're like, oh, we need to give some more time to the creators to write the story and stuff.
Yeah.
But aren't you essentially just doing that for these episodes?
Yeah.
So it does happen. I think it does happen quite often.
That's pretty shit.
That's terrible.
But
Well,
like,
You might as well make.
If it's done right, it can be quite good. Like, for example, Naruto, all of the filler episodes where they do flashbacks of all the characters, most of them are done quite well. And plus it gives you an extra insight into what's actually happening in the present day. So the best example I can give is in the fourth grade Ninja War, they do a flashback of a character called Toby, who is one of the main villains of the series, basically, in this war. His flashback basically shows him growing up with another character, Kakashi. Being trained by the fourth Hokage, which is too long to get into, but they're quite big characters in the thing. And it basically shows how he went from this happy person to just being shit. And it gives deeper insight to the character.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's done well, it's done well. But Bleach
I
doesn't
think
do it
15 is a lot for
That
a
is
20,
hell of a
unless.
lot.
But then it is also based on a
well.
manga, so which is the equivalent of what I
A
suppose
comic
we would
book.
say is a comic, but it is a book, isn't it?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
manga.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a highly rated one.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just there's too many.
have
All
you
filler, no winner.
have you seen Tokyo Ghoul?
No,
I think you'd like that one.
I don't want to watch.
And another one I'd say, but you'll only have one season and it will finish on a cliffhanger. Dead Man Wonderland.
Never
give-
heard of it.
Give it a watch. You'll like
Would you
it.
say that Netflix is very strong on its anime?
It's getting better.
Yeah.
It is getting better.
And do they produce any of their own anime content?
Yeah. So
They done
isn't seven-
Devilman.
And isn't Seven Deadly Sins?
Seven Deadly Sins. Yeah.
There's quite a few actually.
There is quite a few original animes for Netflix.
Because you were watching that one about they're in like a maze sort of thing, and people die and turn into big monsters. Does that ring a bell?
Oh, Attack on Titan. You mean Attack on Titan?
Maze?
Something about, I don't know.
No, it's not
a maze.
They're like they put their village right in a wall because there's big monsters.
Yeah, their whole civilization is.
I was thinking Maze Runner sort of thing, but
But no, it is getting stronger on their anime.
okay.
There's loads. I've watched loads of anime on there, like loads.
What's the one for first time anime watcher? What would you recommend?
If you want to watch an anime, watch Dragon Ball. If you want to get into anime, watch Dragon Ball.
It's too many episodes.
No, if you're gonna start, you start off soft, really.
But what is soft? In terms of anime, what?
10, 15 episodes first season. I don't know. I don't know if there's many of those.
Rather than 100.
But that vampire thing was only 6 or so, wasn't
Three.
it?
3.
Oh, Transylvania.
Castlevania?
4 episodes.
3 or 4.
That's based off of a video game.
That was good, but you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna see a sequel to that. That was just like one.
I think they are doing a series.
If you want to get into anime, you need to watch it. The mainstream watch.
So for example, Dragon Ball is like 100 episodes. So they do it in arcs. So there are seasons to it, but when you come to look at it, you'll see it as this is one long.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do it like, if you're gonna start off slow, like there's Tokyo Ghoul, which is only on to season 3 and it's about to be released, and people have been waiting for it for absolutely ages. You've got Sword Art Online, which is several.
I do want to watch that.
It's 30, 40 episodes long.
Well,
and
we watched the film, didn't we?
Yeah, and there's season 1 and 2 on there. A long series is Fairy Tales, a bit more childish, but it is quite interesting. Dead Man Wonderland's a bit messed up, but it's short. There's loads. I mean, Dragon Ball Super on its own is 135 episodes right now, but there's different arcs, and some of those arcs do get replicated in the films. They just do episodes based on the films, and they add fillers, and that is annoying.
Watch Beyblade.
That again is another really long series.
Best anime of all time.
Yu-Gi-Oh's another long series.
Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon.
Oh my god.
There's very popular anime.
Yeah, have you seen Pokemon though? The most recent, they've got a new series out. I assume it's X and Y. They usually base it off the previous series game.
Is Ash in it?
Ash is still in it.
Is he still like 10 years old?
Well, so there was a theory on it, yeah. So he is, but
Him and Maggie
don't know.
Simpson, in it. Just
There's a theory because there's 725 episodes or so.
Right.
So let's give and take. Let's say that most of these are a day long. These episodes.
2 years.
It's 2 years. So I hit 12. But watch. Pokemon. Oh god, it's not gonna come up with anything decent. So I wonder if it'll show the latest series images, because I think this is god awful drawing.
Of what?
The latest series of Pokemon. That's so.
How many more pre-evolutions have they made for the original 150?
So they've done. So there's loads. There's like 6 generations.
When they made Pichu, I was like, mate, stop wrecking.
No, isn't there like 700 Pokemon now? 750.
I mean, that's what one of the Pokemon looks like now.
What?
Yeah, it's a ghost type Pokemon.
That looks like a Meowth.
It's a big.
What's his name? Mimikyu or something?
So that's what Ash looks like now, which I don't think.
That's how he's always looked.
No.
No?
Well, if you're taking it from when it was first drawn, I mean,
Looks softer.
yeah.
So you got. That's what Ash is.
Yeah.
Well,
This is-
yeah.
This isn't good for audio.
No, but basically they I think they've dumbed down their drawing a bit. I don't know why. But,
Okay.
I tell you what, a good series actually, which I was a bit skeptical of it being a good follow-on, was Boruto to Naruto.
Okay. Or Naruto to Boruto.
Naruto to
Yeah.
Naruto. I don't know if you're up to date on it. I'm following it episode week by week. And it's quite good actually. It does have the element of Naruto that everyone liked, and it's.
I mean, I would be surprised if it didn't, because it's the same people.
No, but you sometimes assume that they're going to try and go somewhere else with it, because you've seen this story before and you kind of want something different, but they've kind of tried to incorporate a bit of both really, and I think they've done really well with it.
Yeah.
They also recently brought out, I don't know if anyone ever saw it on Cartoon Network or Tsunami or whatever it was, or Jetix, Card Captor. No,
No,
not yet.
Program was shit.
Well, they've just started a new series of it, Card Captor Clear Cards.
I remember watching this thinking, oh yeah, it looks like Yu-Gi-Oh.
So basically, I don't know the main character's name, but she basically, there's these monsters and she has to capture them in cards. She comes up against a lot of baddies on the way, and the new series is that her cards have gone clear, and
All right.
Sounds riveting.
she has to capture them again.
Did you ever watch the anime Hajime no Ippo, which I told you about, the boxing one?
No, but I did see some trailers for it. Look
You
for
need
it.
to watch it.
Mate, there's
That's really
there's plenty of stuff that I need to watch.
That could actually be a decent starter because it's a boxing anime. It's not like everyone's got superpowers and can blast anyone in the air.
Hunter x
Yeah,
Hunter.
I'm always a bit skeptical about superpowers,
Yeah.
especially in films.
Yeah, I know.
Hunter x Hunter is also a very good TV series, anime.
Okay.
Is that dubbed in Netflix or is it?
I didn't see it on Netflix.
It is on Netflix.
Yeah, it's not dubbed.
It's
It's
not.
it might be. I haven't checked it, but I watched it all online. So, even though Netflix is technically online, but yeah, there's a little anime segment.
Well, let's go back to live action.
Yeah, you like that, do you? Well,
I don't know if you're trying to do an innuendo
That
there.
sounded really erotic.
it's not like me.
The Commuter. Tell us about Taken 4.
Is that?
It's literally, it's basically taken on a train. So
Whereas Non-Stop was taken on a plane.
Yeah, it actually was. You
there
know,
you go.
Goddamn,
it actually was.
goddamn
But no, it is.
hostages in these goddamn trains.
What was that one in the woods and the snow?
The Grey?
The grey.
Grey.
That was taken in the.
Taken by wolves.
Yeah, I think that's actually. That might actually be the only film that Liam Neeson's ever died in.
Really?
Well, no, he's died in Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars and The Grey.
Yeah.
The only two films I think.
but
that was taken in space.
Did he die in the grey? We don't know. He could have banged up all the walls.
I haven't actually seen it. I'm just telling you what I know.
Okay, so tell us about The Commuter.
So you could be right.
Yeah, Community is a film about a ex-policeman who is now an insurance salesman, and he gets to train to like they make a pretty big deal at the start of the film to show like his routine is pretty much exactly the same. Like he gets to train to work every day and train back every day. And one day he goes to work, he gets fired, and he is like reluctant to tell his wife because you know people are weird like that. So he's got to like, pay for like his son's college and everything like that. So like obviously like the burden of finance is coming down on him. So it's
Right.
a bit long. And on his way home, he gets approached by a woman, and she basically like gives him like, loads of hypothetical questions, and like to determine like what kind of person are you. She says,
Sorry, he on the same day he's been fired and he's got on the train and the woman's come up to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
so
Coincidence?
How long is this train journey?
I don't know, but I'll say like at least a good hour,
Okay, cool.
maybe like an hour and a half.
So I don't know if that was relevant at all, but
Oh.
yeah.
To be
Anyway,
fair, a lot of shit happens on that train, so
Is this train on time?
train's on time.
Unrealistic.
To be fair, it's in New York, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's not southern.
It's
yeah.
not. Yeah, it's not Southern Rail.
To be fair, trains in New York were pretty on time when we
Yeah.
went there, so.
Fuck Southern Rail as well. While I'm back.
We want
Yeah.
Deutsche
Fuck
Bahn.
Odin and fuck Southern Rail. 2018, I come for both of you. Anyway.
I love Pizza Hut, but yeah, for Valentine's Day, I agree with Obes.
So he's on this train, yeah. Oh, I should point out that the way you find out he's an ex-policeman is that after he's fired, he goes to a bar and then he meets his ex-partner and his old new boss comes through, and they basically show his old new boss to be a bit of a dick. So yeah. Anyway, he gets on the train. This woman's like, what would you say if I give you like $100,000 if you do this one simple thing that won't affect you in any way but might affect another person but you don't know how? And he's like, what thing is that? And then she's like, oh, you just got to find someone and point them out to us. And he's like, okay. And then she gets off the train and he's like obviously thinking like, oh yeah, this isn't like, it's not real. And then she before she gets off the train, she says to him, go to this place, you'll get 25,000 now. And then when you do it and you give us this person, oh sorry, I'm missing out a massive bit. She says someone on this train does not belong. Find out who they are and tell us.
Right. Okay.
Sorry. So yeah, she says you get the first 25,000 now, and then the other 75,000 when you finish the job. And he like thinks it's a joke, so he's like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. Goes to the toilet, looks in the little vent. He finds out this little vent that the air's not blowing out, so he like kind of like screws it open, and he finds a brown bag and it's got $25,000 in it.
As you do.
As you do.
Whenever you see a vent that doesn't work, you always unscrew it and check.
Well,
The amount of £25,000 bags I found in toilets and trains, like, you would not believe. If I had a penny for every single
I had
one,
a pound for every time I found 25.
I'd have 25 grand.
But
Anyway.
so yeah, he gets out of the thing and he's kind of like what the fuck sort of thing, and so then he kind of like half does it, like looking for this person, and he's like asking the train director, like, oh yeah, who's getting off at this stop?
Does he have a time limit?
He has till the train gets to a certain station. I can't remember what the name of the
Okay.
station is.
So is this film in real time?
I don't think so. Maybe it is actually. I don't know. Maybe. Don't know.
Alright.
So yeah, he like kind of maybe don't know, and he kind of like half does it, and then,
no 24, mate.
that's not me. No, nothing ever compared. He's no Jack Bauer. He's alright. Liam Neeson's okay, but he's no Jack Bauer. So he gets a call from this woman he tries to get off the train, and then this girl comes on and basically like forces him to stay on the train, sort of thing, and he's like kind of like do your job, otherwise your family will be in trouble. And he's lost his phone at this point, so he can't call his wife. So he uses a person who he knows on the train, their phone, to call his wife. There's no answer. And then after the phone goes down, the phone rings again. He picks it up, and it's the woman, the blonde woman. And she's saying basically like, yeah, you need to find this person, otherwise we're going to kill your family.
Mad.
And he's like, right, puts the phone down, tries to call the police, and they're not picking up. And then another one of his mates on the train, he like borrows his newspaper that he's reading, and then like tries to like secretly like call the police on it. My family's in trouble, blah blah blah. Gives the guy a newspaper. That guy gets off the train, and then 2 minutes later, the woman rings the phone again. She's like, yeah, look outside the window. And the geezer just like walks into traffic and gets hit by a bus. Well, no, sorry. Someone pushed him out into traffic. So that's kind of show like, yeah, we see everything. Sort of thing.
Okay.
And so he basically goes through his people on the train, who looks suspicious, who doesn't, who do I recognise from my regular commute, who don't I. And we find out that the people who are trying to find this person are basically looking for someone who witnessed a crime, and they want to kill this person before they testify to the crime, basically. And he sees this guy who was quite suspicious, and this guy tries to fight him, so he assumes, oh yeah, this is the guy. He puts like a little pin, like a little to track someone, like a little tracker thing on his bag, and then 10 minutes later that guy turns up dead. Turns out that guy is an FBI agent, and he was actually on the train to help find the witness and protect them. So he accidentally got that guy killed. And so yeah, he goes through the rest of the film trying to find out who the person is, who I'm looking for, sort of thing. And eventually he finds it. It's like this 16-year-old girl, and but he won't tell what's it called? Even though they're friends, his family, he won't tell the boss lady who the girl is. So she basically says, all right, we're just going to kill everybody. So like they disable the train, so the train's just moving at lightning speed and there's no emergency brake. So they have to like disengage the train, the one side of the carriages from the other, so that the other side just zooms off somewhere else, and then the other side of the train crashes. The conductor died. Man gave his life for nothing. I was upset. And then the police show up at the crash site where the train's landed. We find out that basically his ex-partner was involved for this from the start. He's in cahoots with the boss lady. He was involved in the crime that started the igniting of the film. And yeah, Liam Neeson fucks him up, gets shot. That guy dies, and then he ends up arresting the boss lady woman. It's a good film. It's actually, I haven't described it very well. But
Didn't you say it was a murder? It was more like Murder on the Orient Express.
Exactly. It was
I was going to say.
Yeah, it was a better murder mystery than Murder on the Orient Express.
Sounds a bit like that crossed with Unstoppable.
I haven't seen Unstoppable.
Oh,
Yes,
that's a good film.
yes, it does actually.
So that's about a train that doesn't stop.
Doesn't stop. Who's in that one? That's
Denzel.
yeah, and someone else famous as well.
Is
it the guy who's in Star
Chris
Trek?
Pine.
Yeah.
Denzel's in it.
Yeah. That's a good film.
Good film.
Really good film actually.
All right. Well, that sounds
It was interesting. It was.
Does it go into the morality of like he doesn't know what's happened to this person?
Yeah, definitely does. It does. But like, it's your typical Liam Neeson film, basically.
There should be a film where he like proposes to someone and the wife's like, hell no, I know what happens to your fucking families. Like,
It's crazy how many films on a train are actually really good. Like Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3,
Girl on the Train.
Unstoppable,
Polar Express.
questionable. But
Thomas the Tank.
yeah, obviously classics. But yeah, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that one with Donnie Darko bloke and
Jake Gyllenhaal.
yeah, and
On
he
a train?
didn't he do
Source Code. That was sick.
Yeah.
I never actually saw that. I remember really wanting to watch it.
Decent.
When it came out. I
Yeah.
wanna watch it.
Did you borrow a DVD off me recently?
Batman vs Superman.
Hmm.
Haven't watched it yet.
I still don't watch Star Wars.
What, Last Jedi? Oh no! Oh
The
yeah!
DVD I borrowed off you.
Fuck!
Yeah, I know.
Well, you got to that whenever I move
But I
out.
wanted to watch the first one.
As in the first one or
The first one.
Okay.
I got half an hour.
Phantom
fourth
Menace.
Yeah.
Oh, New Hope.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
The first.
The fourth one.
Oh my god.
The fourth one's the first one. No,
Yeah.
the
Fourth
first
one's
one's the fourth one.
Yeah.
The first one's the fourth.
But the second one's the fifth.
Yeah.
But the fifth one's actually the second.
Yeah.
But
The first.
eighth
And the
one-
first film is actually the
the
fourth.
eighth one actually comes in between 4 and 5, which was actually 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking chronological.
Anyway,
Yeah. Anyone else
What
want to
else
mention
have we got?
anything else?
what on the list we got?
Well, you just,
Anyone else?
Quite. Yeah.
Oh, well, segue. Segue. clip.
No segue.
let's see what you got.
What happened to you, Glenn?
Your segues.
Used to segue like no one had ever seen, mate. Now, get a bit at your old age.
You're rusty.
Innit? Cool.
Joe, you can't say I'm rusty. You don't
Alright.
ever listen to these fucking things.
I wouldn't mind talking about Black Lightning.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Did you watch it? I asked you to watch it.
Not yet.
Yo.
I will.
DC's latest TV series.
CW
I-
series. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
I agree.
How many episodes in are we?
2.
2 episodes.
Well, America in 2, UK we're in one. Netflix is bringing them out every Tuesday. America, they bring it out every Tuesday as well. No,
So we're a week behind.
we're a week
We're
behind, or there or thereabouts. I was quite surprised in episode 2 how the gangster man was actually speaking. Like
Oh, Tobias.
he was saying the N word.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Where he's like, I don't really like black people and all that stuff
Well,
like
no,
that.
yeah. Well, they said we're getting into it.
I know.
We need to-
I
we
was
need
just
to set-
well shocked that I was
But
like,
it was
oh.
good though.
Yeah, it
essentially-
was really
We
good.
need to set a.
We need to
set the tone, and then we can delve into it a little bit. So, Black Lightning is the 5th CW TV show. 5th?
Is iZombie part of it?
Oh, I'm not including.
You know,
that.
okay, yeah.
So it's about Jefferson Pierce, who is a retired superhero and principal of a high school, and basically the show is about him coming out of retirement and becoming a superhero again, which is caused by both his daughters being kidnapped by the local gang.
Is it played by Liam Neeson?
Hold on, the first time he becomes Black Lightning again is because his other daughter went to a club.
Yeah, but he didn't suit up. So
Yeah, he didn't suit up.
I
Yeah,
didn't count. But he hadn't used his powers.
It's the first time he used his powers
he hadn't used
in.
his powers in
It
9
sounded
years.
like 20. No, was it 9 years?
9 years.
Oh, 9 years. Okay, it sounded like a long time.
So the reason he quit being a superhero was basically because his wife left him. She was like, "This is too dangerous. You're putting a target on your own back, and you're endangering our family, endangering yourself." So she leaves him. They get divorced, and he's like, "All right, I'm going to stop being Black Lightning. I'm going to be the principal of this school because I can affect and save more lives as a principal than I will as a superhero." So then you get like 9 years later or whatever.
And he's doing pretty well though.
He's doing pretty well. The school's pretty sick.
And he's got to deal with the gangsters. Like, don't touch the school.
Yeah,
I won't.
that's the neutral zone.
Whatever you do, it's whatever you
Yeah,
do.
and
It's
Well,
not
so
me.
people know he's Black Lightning.
No one knows he's Black Lightning.
And he seems
Oh.
only his wife knows, and,
Right.
And
his sidekick called Gambi, who's basically like Alfred.
Gambit.
Gambi,
Oh.
who's Alfred from Batman, basically.
Okay.
Mixture of Gambit and Bambit.
Basically. Shit, what was I about to say? Go on, 'cause take it away. Well, I remember.
Oh, okay. Oh, basically, so he's the principal of this school. He's doing really well. No one knows he's Black Lightning. He basically goes to save his daughter. Go on and carry on then.
No, I was just gonna say like everyone like loves him in the neighborhood. He's like really well respected and everything. That's what I
Yeah,
was gonna say.
and like
Okay.
it's almost this story of like because of what happened to his daughter in this club. So basically, she starts talking to this guy, or this guy starts talking to her. Then he gets cornered by a load of gangster people who he does know, and then they like come into this room, and then a guy called Lala.
Latavius.
Latavius.
Lala.
Lala.
Do Dipsy, Poe, and Tinky Winky come.
Maybe.
Thing is, like, it was quite funny because like after the first episode, I was like searching through Twitter to see what people were saying about Black Lightning, and literally the majority of them were saying, "Why is this grown man wanting himself to be referred to Lala?"
Yeah.
But it was funny though.
If his surname was Torre, that'd be amazing. Lala Torre.
Lala Torre.
But basically, this gangster's like, well, you owe me money, so you better get your girl to go to work for me. And she's like, I'm not his girl.
Prostitution.
Yeah.
Ah,
And
okay.
Right.
he's like, she is my girl, don't worry about it, like kind of thing. She's like, I'm not your girl, and she like needs him in the groin,
Nice.
and then Black Lightning turns up because he's like, well, all these people, and he just
How does he know this is happening?
because he knows his daughter's escaped, and then he found out his daughter had gone to a club.
Yeah.
His
Right.
daughter's escaped.
Well,
Well, no,
she was meant to be at the house.
Yeah, she said she was
Oh.
going to a house party. And she was supposed to be back by like 10, 15
So
or something like
he'd
that.
gone. Then and then I think that's pretty much the end of the episode, isn't it? Oh no,
Well-
no, it's not. No, sorry.
Yeah.
And then that kid who wanted her, who was pretending that she was his girlfriend.
Lala.
No, this other kid who's Lala's cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically went to the school and was like to her, oh, help me out. She's like, no, leave me alone. And then her sister comes along, who's a teacher at the school.
Such
And-
medical student.
Yeah, and she's like, get off my sister, and he's like, no, I need her now. And then he tries to attack her, and she like basically flips him over.
So she's got powers.
No.
Huh.
And
I
then
think she does martial arts.
yeah, and then so he's about to get a gun out, and then obviously what's his name?
Jefferson.
Jefferson comes out, and he's like, don't do
He
that
like,
in this school.
talks him down.
Yeah.
Basically says, I think the show does a really good job of like encapsulating what it probably is to be, what it's like to be black or like a young black person living in America. Because he kind of says to, as the guy's about to pull out his gun, he says to him like, the police are on the way. They don't need any excuse to shoot you when you don't have a gun. So imagine what they're going to do when you do have a gun.
Yeah.
Like, so then you guys.
Is this like a black neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right at the beginning of the film. TV show. They show him Jefferson. He's just picked up his daughter from who was in prison for protesting. So he's on his way to like a fundraiser.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the police pull him over and basically harass him because he's black. And so like,
He makes it. He's like, this is like the third time this week
Third time, yeah.
you pulled me over for no reason
Do
whatsoever.
you know at all if the creators, showrunners, directors,
The showrunners-
writers, any of them are
the
African American?
the showrunners are both African American and their husband and wife.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I didn't
Sam
know that.
McKill and someone else again. So
And what's the second episode? So
Well,
does
so
it get a bit
in this
more
episode,
rage?
no, so this episode, that guy comes back, captures his two daughters, and then he basically goes back to his sidekick and he's like, suit me up. So he's got like the naffest suit in the world, but he gets suited up. It's got the lights on it and everything. It's really naff.
okay. But I did think, or someone pointed out to me in the podcast that they think maybe the suit has got all the lights on it, so that when people look at him, they can't see his face properly because he hasn't really got like a proper mask.
Mask, true. And that would lead on to the point of the second episode that I'm going to pick up on, but I'll talk to you about that as well. I'll talk to everyone about it. And basically, he goes there, just shoots lightning at everyone.
Is this when he puts the suit on?
Yeah, so
Oh.
after he's gone to the motel,
Yeah.
his daughter's about to be killed, and he saves them basically. And he like he's lighting, and he's like with his lightning he can hit it on someone and then move them.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like kind of like a telekinesis. Sort
Yeah,
of.
and but it doesn't seem to like burn. It burns them, but it doesn't burn them enough to go through
Yeah,
them.
I
But I
think-
don't know if he can
I
like.
think he can control
it.
How like, powerful it is.
And then so basically that guy falls. He saved his daughters, and then at the end of that episode, you see his daughter. She's getting like she's a bit stressed
Panic
out.
attack,
Yeah,
she's having a
and
panic
then she basically puts her hand down on the sink and she smashes the sink,
Okay.
which implies she has
So
powers.
she has powers. Yeah.
And then we got episode 2.
I just want to say
Yeah.
a quick little. There was a nice couple little things in the first episode which I thought were just like, well, there's one. The main bad guy is called Tobias Whale, and
Yeah.
so he's like the drug king. I'm assuming it might not be drugs, but he's like the kingpin, and then below him was Lala, and then obviously like below Lala was his cousin like Will and all like the little drug runners and stuff like that. And so like there was a point when Jefferson went to visit Lala to kind of tell him like to tell his the rest of his gang to like back off, and they were kind of like showing this little boy, this like little 8-year-old
Yeah.
just comes through, and obviously he's like, oh, hi, how are you, blah blah. Jefferson is to the little kid, and basically Lala like berates this kid for being late. So I'm assuming this kid's like a drug runner, and he was late to pick up his shift to go and do whatever. And he's like, you can't be late. You can't be. He's getting like this whole big lecture about how he's got to be better than all the white kids because otherwise I'll walk all over you. Blah blah blah. And he's like, looks like he's about to literally like punch this little kid. And Jefferson is like, you can't do this to anyone, let alone children. And he's like, you've got your way to teach your kids. I've got my way to teach mine. So obviously, like, it kind of shows like they're both trying to teach these kids how to deal with the world and how to deal with it whilst being black as well, because obviously you are treated differently in some places of the world based on the colour of your skin, but some people have different ways of approaching it. And it was because like Lala went to the school that Jefferson teaches at as well, so it's that's kind of like it was nice showing like what kind of because obviously like he had a good effect in some way because he did tell the little kid, you know, be nice to your elders, be polite, say hello, say what your name is, blah blah. But obviously like the other side of it was like afraid to punch him in the face. It's obviously not too great. But yeah, and also because Lala, because the kid kidnaps the two girls and brings them to Lala. Lala's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why have you gotten Jefferson Pierce's kids? Everyone knows Jefferson Pierce. Everyone knows, like, you're not supposed to go to that school. You're not supposed to fuck with Jefferson Pierce. He's like Black Jesus, blah blah. Yeah, she says like he's like Black Jesus. So he didn't want the two girls to be kidnapped. So, but then he has to go to Tobias Wells to explain it. And Tobias Wells like, what the fuck are you doing? Gets harpoon and shoots him in the shoulder.
Oh wow!
With a harpoon. It was great. Sorry. Now episode 2. Go on.
Episode 2. So I think I can't quite remember how it started.
Oh, there was a bit with he was like in bed, and he was like. It seemed like, I don't know.
Oh, so it seemed like he had a charge of like electricity going through him, and it was really hurting him. It was like, I don't know if he was
healing or if he was recharging. It was odd, but it was pretty cool to like. Visually.
And his ex-wife was there, and she was like trying to help him out, and like so it looked like she had seen this before, kind of thing. So I don't know if the stress of using all that electricity hurt him, because it does seem like when he gets angry,
it's quite emotional.
Yeah. So when the police pulled him over. And they were like really manhandling him. His eyes lit up and like the light started flickering around him. And the same thing happened when.
But he managed to control himself.
And
then
the second.
He gets pulled over again. Basically.
Yeah. And he also gets punched in the stomach by Lala's people, and the same thing happens. But he's so you got that, and then you got the daughter. You find out the daughter was a lesbian as well, which I didn't know about before.
Hey, that scene was fucking steamy. I was like, under the collar, mate. I was like, wow. But yeah, no, her she's pretty good looking, and her girlfriend's pretty fit as well. And
you can see there's like the relationship differences. Like one of them really wants to have a serious relationship, and you feel like Jefferson's daughter does, but she's got so much on, or she really just wants to keep this private life and her personal life and both separate.
Is the lesbian the one with the superpowers?
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming they both have superpowers. Just one of them's realised about it, and one of them
that's
hasn't.
also very progressive. Homosexual.
Yes. Well, yeah, but also you have the homosexual superheroes in both Arrow and in Legends of Tomorrow.
I didn't know that.
Legends of Tomorrow, you have White Canary, and you also have in Supergirl someone Danvers, her sister, Alex Danvers.
Yeah, she's not a superhero, but
yeah. And also you have in Mr. Fantastic. No, is that it? No.
Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific. He's homosexual as well.
But like gay black female. Probably at first.
Yeah, that is which is really good. I'm trying to think how the story progresses. So basically, Jefferson's like having this speech at the school. He's talking to all the parents, and then
One poses a very good question. Teenage girls are always like coming in and out of these motels, you know, like turning tricks and that. And one of the women whose daughter has been in this motel for however long, she hasn't come home or for however long. She says, "Why did Black Lightning come back and rescue your kids, but he hasn't rescued anybody else's?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Fuck." He's like, "I don't know. I can't answer that question, obviously." Cause doesn't want to reveal that he's...
And also, he quotes a lot of stuff, and she quoted him right back, but I can't remember what the quote was. And it was...
She said, "Unless all of us are free, then none of us are free."
Yeah. Do we know who said that?
Not a Scooby. It might be Martin Luther King.
But sure. Yeah, it was quite like wow. And you could see his acting was really good with it as well. It was like, okay, he understood like something's got to be done here.
Yeah.
And I think I feel like I'm missing a whole chunk out. But basically, his other daughter starts a relationship with this guy, and this guy seems...
He's in Riverdale, that guy.
Yeah, he's the mean...
Completely opposite character as well.
Well, in Riverdale, he's kind of not. Yeah. But he's like... well-built guy.
He's wedge, man.
Yeah, and he obviously likes her, and because of the thing that happened with her, he's kind of like, I've got to tell her I like her kind of thing.
Oh, mad cute.
Yeah, and he's like, I want you to be my girl and stuff like that. And
he gives her like a little necklace.
Yeah, and she's
like, they give her like a little peck on the cheek.
Yeah,
peck on the lips.
Yeah, it's kind of cute. Mm-hmm. And then basically, you got the two like contrasting stories with the daughters as well. So one of the daughters is still trying to like go about her normal day, but she thinks she's having like issues, and no one's really. So she tells her girlfriend, in inverted commas here, because you get the feeling that she hasn't really, like everyone knows, her parents know about it.
Right.
So I didn't feel like her dad knew about it to begin with, because she's round her girlfriend's house. But I didn't.
No, you said.
Did he?
Yeah, he said. Oh, yeah,
Because
at her girlfriend's house.
I only realised when
Yeah,
the
no,
mum
yeah,
said it.
yeah.
Because when the mum said it, I was
Yeah,
like,
they
oh,
do.
they know.
Yeah,
But basically, she tells her like, oh, I smashed the sink off, and she's like, oh, it's probably just a crap sink, like it was going to come off anyway, kind of thing. And she kind of ignores her. And then the younger daughter,
Gotta get off the round.
yeah, she's just a bit like, well, okay, my life's just something really. And then her mate's giving her alcohol, and then
Drinking at school.
yeah, and then basically she goes up to her new boyfriend, and he's like, no, I'm not having none of this. Like, I've come from like, I've done everything myself. My mum's raised me. My dad was in prison. My brother got killed, and he's like, no, I'm doing everything proper, and I want to get out of here and do the best I can. And he was like, I want you to be with me, but not like this. And he grabs the bottle, throws it in the bin, hugs her, kind of thing. And he's like, I'm a runner. Is it?
I think it's right.
Yeah, and so it's nice to see their two stories, and then at the end of the episode, which I'm skipping quite a lot, but I will come back to it. The daughter uses her powers again, so there's a robbery in process, and she's like she's going, oh, my head's hurting, like obviously her powers are being triggered, I think, and the guy comes to attack her, and she literally just like launches him across several different aisles. I'm kind of thinking, if you become a superhero in the next like 3 or 4 episodes, I would definitely clock on to you being the superhero. Just throwing it out there. Like, there's no way anyone, even with like testosterone, could like throw that far. But the story goes that I think so. At this school meeting, Jefferson's saying about how this motel's been shut down, and the mum's like, hasn't been shut down. It's open again, and he's like, what? How's that even happen? Goes back there. His police friend basically says that La didn't get charged with anything because 15 people say that he was somewhere else.
Yeah.
What was you gonna say?
No, I said the police friend's kind of like the Commissioner Gordon sort of.
Yeah. So he doesn't know his mate is Black Lightning, but he is trying to do everything he can to help. But there's not a lot he can do because he wants to do everything by the law, which is
Fair.
yeah. And so basically, we'll see. Jefferson goes to talk to Lala. Lala's having none of it. Basically, he's like, you better be careful because if you don't take your daughters on vacation, I might do. Lala kills his cousin.
Yeah.
Just literally shoots his cousin in the back of the head.
Nice.
Then this woman, the mum who said about her daughter being in there for like ages, she goes to like not harass Lala.
She parks herself outside the motel
Yeah.
and starts filming everyone, like saying basically like, I'm going to keep filming you guys until you bring back my
And this the bit that I didn't see coming. Lala just went, well, if you're not going to leave me alone, he got the gun out and went bang, 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 killed her. But she's got she was someone was recording it. I assume it was her, and the phone got knocked under the car seat
as they were moving the body back to
Yeah.
the car.
and I don't know if did anyone find it.
Yeah, they caught it all on.
Oh,
they
yeah.
caught it all on tape.
And basically, the guy playing Black Lightning was not having any of it. His wife was
he
like,
got angry.
yeah, his wife was like, you go back into this. She was like, you can go back into it.
Ex-wife.
She was like, you can go back into it, save our daughters, but you can't do it for anyone else. And he said to his sidekick, it was like, no, I've got to go back in. But once I've defeated Lala, that's it. I'm not doing no more. So he goes to this motel. He beats the crap out of everyone. A lot of people are like on his side, like.
So he's like walking through the street and everyone's like, "Oh, Black Lightning is back!" Yeah, and people like open the door and like, "Here you go."
Yeah.
Like, what floor is Lala on? Oh yeah, he's on the 9th floor. Just go up and go get him, sort of thing.
And like, so there's like a little speech from some guy in the episode 1, and he's like, if it wasn't for Black Lightning, I'd never seen my daughters graduate from uni.
The old geezer,
Yeah, and like it's kind of like inspired, like how everyone feels about like Black Lightning, and everyone's a bit like, why did he leave? Why does he come back? Kind of thing. And he beats the crap out of Lala, and then all the police come, and basically, this is when his mate looks straight at Black Lightning. I think in my mind, I'm like, his mate knows who you are.
I don't know. I don't think he's clocked it.
Nah,
I don't think he's clocked it.
I mean, it's not hard. All he's got is a face mask on, this massive chunky suit with a big lightning bolt on it.
But Clark
which
Kent just literally wears glasses.
No, because Clark Kent's glasses changed what his eyes look like and the eye colour. Yeah, so, and then he goes back home, and then the whole thing with the daughter happens where she flips someone over. Then is he albino?
He's albino.
Albino kingpin guy that I don't know his name of. Tobias. He goes to prison and strangles Lala to death.
I think he's got superpowers as well.
Yeah, he literally one-handed him.
He strangles him with one
He's
hand.
almost kingpin of the DC
Yeah,
world.
I agree. So like, I'm actually quite annoyed that they killed Lala because I actually quite liked him.
Yeah,
it was a bit like Cottonmouth.
Okay.
I quite liked him. Like I
Yeah.
felt like he was an interesting character, and they could have done with developing a little bit and seeing how he runs his side of the gang. But then they kind of just killed off because basically Tobias goes to the prison, and he's like, "Oh, you killed someone's mum. That's against my ethical code, sort of thing. And if you're willing to do that, you're willing to do anything, include being a snitch." So he kills him.
But the thing is, in this show, I'm 2 episodes in and I'm thinking anyone's at risk here.
Oh, really?
Anyone, I know Black Lightning's the main character, but I'm almost thinking if one of his daughters got lightning powers, at the end of the season they could take over if they really wanted to. I don't think they will, but there is always that option. And
sounds interesting.
I'm really into it though.
Yeah.
I think it's really good.
Do you reckon it will link with the other DC ones?
so
Go on.
yeah, no, you go.
So they said they haven't got plans for it. They planned for it to be separate for now.
Right.
But obviously they could if they want to, because we don't even know if it's on the same Earth as any
Right,
of the
okay.
actions.
I read somewhere that it's not on the same Earth, but it might be the same universe. Yeah, I think it's the same. So they said it would be not the same Earth, but a different universe. So one of the 49 or 50 Earths there are. 52.
Yeah.
I mean, they might make a 53rd for this.
It's Earth X in there.
Oh, so yeah, that's 53 apparently.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, I think it's really good.
I think tonally it's actually really different to the rest of the CW shows. I think it's a bit less cheesy. It's kind of maybe not Luke Cagey, but it is quite. I feel like I was saying to Chris, I feel like tonally it seems like more of like a Netflix.
Yeah.
More like a Netflix.
Yeah, I agree.
Do they use
Although,
racial epithets as well? Was that something that you were alluding to when you first started?
Oh, what,
talking
like
about
the
it?
N word?
Yeah.
They don't say the N word, but they say Negro.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And also, the first episode I thought, it wasn't that brutal or gory, but in this episode, he punches the people on the stairs and you see blood.
Mm.
And I was like,
Is that
what?
not? You don't get that in Arrow and stuff.
Not really.
No, because normally people are wearing some kind of armour and just the arrow goes through and it's like, okay, they're done.
Yeah.
Or they're injured kind of thing. But yeah.
Okay.
It was also kind of, obviously I don't know if this was from I think in general it was nice to see how being a superhero has affected Jefferson Pierce, because there was, in the first episode, there was a flashback of him bleeding out in his bathtub, and then in the second episode, obviously at the beginning, it shows him kind of recharging himself, and he seems like he's really in pain and stuff like that. And it's nice to see that, so these fights are actually having an effect on this superhero.
Yeah.
Whereas shows like Arrow get punched in the face 10 times.
Yeah.
And then next thing he hasn't even got a scratch on him, he ain't got black eye and nothing. And same with also Flash and Supergirl and stuff like that. So
And it seems interesting that he seems like he's at a later stage, kind of like the Ben Affleck Batman,
Exactly.
and he's
Bless him.
kind of post superhero. So that seems really interesting.
yeah. But no, it's good though. I would recommend it. Obviously, it's on Netflix, so you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
watch it
I might give
Yeah,
it a watch then.
100%. That's definitely something I'd recommend as well.
Okay. Well, has anyone got anything?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I heard a little Easter egg that apparently Jefferson's wife, Lynn Pierce, is apparently the sister of Jon Stewart, who's one of the Green Lanterns. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll put that in there at any point or mention that anymore.
Nice.
So, that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's good. It's good.
Anything else?
Well, we're over 2 hours, so I think we can leave it there. I want to talk about next week though, Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Why don't you talk about it now? We missed a week.
Is that the one with
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn?
Okay, I'll quickly talk about it. So this is a film by a guy called S. Craig Zahler. He did a film called Bone Tomahawk, which is this really brutal western about cannibals and stuff. Very violent. And then he's done another film now, which is called Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Yeah.
Features a dramatic performance by Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn's very good in it. He shaves his head. He's this man. Vince Vaughn's big,
Yeah,
but
huge.
he wears this prison outfit, and he just looks like an absolute beast.
Really? Okay.
And it's basically, so the first scene is Vince Vaughn gets laid off from his job. He's got problems with his wife. They're trying to conceive a baby, but they're having difficulty. And then basically, as usual, he's like, what can I do then? I'll sell drugs. So he starts selling drugs.
Yeah.
And then basically gets
Sounds
to...
like a lucrative business.
Yeah, I know. If I ever lose a job, I'll start running drugs.
Yeah.
Joking. Where am I? And then 6 months later, it flashes forward, and then his wife's pregnant, and basically his drug kind of kingpin says, "Oh, I want you to get involved with these new people. We're expanding, blah blah blah." Anyway, he kind of gets a bit fucked over by his new colleagues, and he ends up shooting them, and they die. And then
It's Command Odeon or anything.
It was in cinemas,
Oh.
but I think it was a very limited release.
See, fuck Odeon, bro.
But then, so he gets sent to prison, and then, he's actually quite sort of accepting of that.
Right.
He had to do what he did,
Yeah.
but he's like, okay, I need to do my time. And he's quite content with that. And then, whilst he's in prison, he gets a message from someone, so the partner of the people that he killed. He's like, oh, I've captured your wife, and unless you get yourself transferred to maximum security in another prison and kill someone there, we are going to cut the limbs off your unborn child, but leave it alive so that it will give birth and basically be a nugget.
Jeez.
And I was like, fuck, that's dark. So then basically he beats up this prison guard, which I felt really sorry for the prison guard because the prison guard's really nice to him, but he snaps his arm, you see his bone like jut out. And so he gets transferred to cell block 99 in this other prison. And this is kind of like, your stereotypical prison, like run by some dodgy people, and it's kind of like some outside the system.
Yeah.
But then like
Vince Vaughn, yeah?
yeah.
Like the
Vince
one who's
Vaughn.
in Breaker.
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
But the thing is, like Vince Vaughn, like throughout the whole film, he's actually a nice guy, but he's so strong and big, and like you kind of know that everything he's doing for his family, and he's not like I don't think he would be a violent person if it wasn't for this. But then like straight away he has to kind of make a name for himself, so he goes in and he finds the biggest, like hardest man in the prison, beats the fuck out of him, gets sent to like max isolation sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. And then he's basically then he gets this kind of electricity belt put on him, and then the guards can basically zap him at any time, and he goes.
That doesn't seem very humane, but okay.
Well, that's the thing. Like this is like outside the system,
okay.
and where he's in like dungeon, like they have glass on his cell floor, and the toilet doesn't work and everything, so it's like real shithole. And then basically the kingpin partner, so the people that he killed, their boss, comes to the prison, and the guards give this guy the electricity belt. So he's torturing him, and he's like, you can't touch any of my guys in here, or we'll kill your wife. What I didn't understand about the film is the guy that he gets told to kill, I don't actually think exists. I think they just wanted to get him there and to like torture him a bit. But anyway, he comes up with a plan. He takes the insole out of his shoe and puts it down the back where the electricity comes from.
Yeah.
So he blocks it. But then when they zap him, he pretends to get injured and then disarms the guard and basically holds the cell hostage. And then he just proceeds to like fucking kill everybody. But in like the goriest ways I've probably ever seen. Like, he loves stamping on people's heads. So he's fucking these people up. And then
Not prison officers, no.
some of them are, but mostly the Kingpin's guy. And then he's like got this, so he's standing on this guy's head, and then he's like basically saying like, don't move or I'll kill him. And they're like, oh, you're bluffing. And so they come towards him, and he stamps on this guy's head and drags his face across the floor, and you see the skin coming off his face, and it's just bone.
Yeah.
It's grit. Like, I was like, whoa.
No.
And like Lauren was watching it with me, she was like, what the fuck is this film? It's horrible. And like he stamps on a
This
few
is on
more...
Netflix.
No, I've got a DVD. But
Oh my god.
and he stamps on a few more people's heads, and like brain goes everywhere. And then eventually he's got like a standoff, and he decapitates this guy by putting his head over the toilet and just stamping repeatedly on his neck, and then his head falls off into the toilet. And then basically the prison...
What's so violent?
It's just the director likes violence.
But
It's
I
just
thought
how
he was
the
a nice
film is.
guy.
Yeah,
Why do you
innit?
need to be so brutal?
But he's just like...
Can't you just kill him?
He's in a rage.
Did you say he held him like hostage or something?
Can't he just
Sort of,
Did he have a gun?
He does get a gun, because he disarms the prison guard.
Can he just shot?
And then eventually he gets his wife to safety and his kid, but then he there's basically no way out for him, so he knows that he's going to die. And then he kind of, once he knows, he gets a phone call that his wife's safe, and then he puts the phone down, walks out, and they shoot him in the head.
Oh, so at the end, Vince Vaughn dies.
Yeah. But it's a very good...
Spoiler alert.
I mean, I've got a feeling that like half these killings weren't necessary.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You're kind of like, does he need to? But then you sort of think, actually, he's quite likeable. It was a good film, like ultra violent, but...
I was going to watch it until you said that his face got basically scraped off, and then I
You can borrow
decided... no.
They're doing another film together, which is called Dragged Across Concrete, so I wonder how violent that will be.
Oh my.
I'll put a tenner on it being a hard 18. Yeah. Bet you're glad we ended on that one.
Well, we can do. I was going to say, Joe, you got anything else to say? Or is it? Yeah, you making a special appearance? Might as well.
Not really. Well, I watched on Netflix a new Godzilla, which is a anime version of Godzilla,
Okay.
which was alright. So basically, Godzilla terrorizes the Earth. Humanity leaves the Earth. They're gone for, in their time, 20 years, but in what Earth's time is more like 20,000 years. Come back. Obviously, the Earth has changed. They're a bit hesitant whether to actually land there. They land there with a raiding party. They run into Godzilla, find out that he has a weakness on his back, kill Godzilla. Ends up, it's not actually Godzilla, it's just a little Godzilla, and then big Godzilla comes out, and that's where it ends.
So is it a series or a film?
It's series,
Oh, okay.
but there's only one episode out at the moment, and it was an hour long.
Oh, okay. So it's like setting it up.
It
Yeah,
sounds like
and
a mix between the Planet of the Apes, where they're coming back from, well, going away, and the 100, and Godzilla.
Yeah,
Let's
kind
catch up
of.
with the 100.
Who I do, you do.
I do.
Yeah,
It wasn't that bad though.
You do as well,
I quite
don't you?
enjoyed it. It was
it's on Netflix.
quite a decent.
Is it?
I think season 1 to 3 is on Netflix.
Oh,
yeah.
that's not goody good to me, then, is
What,
it?
the
Oh,
100?
sorry.
What, the 100?
Yeah.
it?
Maybe it was only when we were in Germany.
Okay.
It was definitely there when I was in Germany.
I finished watching season 4 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh yeah.
So funny.
It is sick. Oh, I'm so upset that it's over for me.
Season 4, I thought... Do you know what? I actually thought season 4 was really good.
Yeah.
It ended like...
Oh, I was so gutted. That
Oh
they-
yeah.
the way it ended, I was like, oh shit!
Yeah.
Like, there's actual like stakes in this in this TV show.
The comedy gone. It was still comical, but it was
Yeah.
like, wow, okay,
Yeah.
is Peralta gonna be
Just
alright?
like all the
Oh, sorry,
one-liners.
Joe. So the way it ends is 2 of the detectives are being framed for bank robbery.
Peralta and
Diaz.
Yeah.
Diaz,
Names won't help me.
Nice.
But yeah, they're being framed for bank
but they might
robbery.
help our podcast.
But I feel like in this series,
Doing it for you lot.
Chief
Yeah.
Holt is less serious.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which I love his seriousness.
Yeah, I think it's probably like
He's a bit more
characters like
light-hearted.
Jake having an
Yeah.
effect on in a minute.
I do like their Halloween special ones though.
Yeah.
When they do the
Yeah. I love how they
So
like
dumb.
actually incorporated Chelsea Peretti's pregnancy into this.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
last season they didn't for Melissa Fumero, they were just like filmed her from the stomach above.
What did they? I didn't
Yeah.
notice that.
Although she's married to Jordan Peele. Did you say that
Yeah.
last week? Yeah. Interesting.
Which one's that one?
Gina.
Gina.
The receptionist.
Oh, she's married to Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the other lady.
No. Although Gina always saves the day, doesn't she?
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I want someone else to save the day for once. But yeah, I can't wait till series 5, although that'll probably come out next year.
What do you mean?
Well,
It's
it's
really,
already out, yeah. But
I mean on Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that won't be out for like 2 years probably.
Ugh.
I waited so long for season 4. I was so annoyed. And I finished it super quick. I
Yeah,
was like, I'll watch season
20
5
episodes.
Yeah.
But
the way the world works, unfortunately, with the TV series and streaming services.
But yes, so I'm hoping to watch quite a lot of the next week, whether I do or
I'm
not.
watching
But I want to watch Maze Runner, Downsizing, Post, Darkest Hour. Fuck me, what else is out? I don't know. Lots of other
I
stuff.
suppose we spoke about another film.
You are?
Didn't you say your brother went to see a film or something?
Downsizing.
Oh, I swear we spoke about something else before downsizing earlier.
We didn't speak about downsizing.
No,
No.
none of us seen it yet.
No.
You should watch something. Get an Odeon pass.
I wouldn't go to the cinema.
Okay, well, we'll end episode 41 there. Tweet us if you think any omissions have been made from the Oscar nominations. Tweet us what you think will win for all the categories that we mentioned.
Just
and
tweet
any
us.
others. Tweet us.
Just tweet us.
Ask us questions, leave us comments, feedback. We're on Twitter at YSC Podcast 17, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes and SoundCloud under Your Average Critics. We'd really appreciate reviews, shares, likes, all that sort of thing. And tune in next week.
See you soon, maybe.